a boom in a financial storm. Man with her papers, Epstein in the shade. Conflicts of interest in the deals they made. Two-faced riches lining their pockets. Preach to the people, but cash in the lockets. Say one thing, then flip the script. Public trust sinking while their wallets get thin. Margins for my bets before the big shot. Pelosi's gains climb and connect the dots. They legislate loudly, but whisper the banks. We're left with the fallout, the cashing in banks. Trunk's hotels ringing cash registers loud. Family deals hidden under the crowd. Luther and Bird with pandemic stock. Selling off shares before the shock. Bondi gone as Epstein shade. Justice for sale and the deals they made. Conflicts of interest, the anthem we shout. Expose the corruption, let's call it out. Step right up, see the inside of show. Politicians profit while the rest don't know. It's a circus decree, a carnival crime. We'll laugh as we sing, but it's truth every time. Two-faced riches, hypocrisy reigns. While we juggle the bills, they're buying new chains. Conflicts of interest, the anthem we shout. Expose the corruption, let's call it out. Conflict, conflict, conflict of interest. Conflict, 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 conflict of interest. Oh yeah, yeah, conflict of interest.
Welcome to the War Room. I want to thank everybody for being here with us tonight. As you can see, we have the snow on the ground in some locations, not all. I mean, here in Texas, we got half-inch of snow. But hey, you know, at least H-E-B and Walmart and them made billions of dollars overnight with all the grocery sales, right? You know, people go out and kind of like, I think we talked about this before, right? You just run out and empty the shelves. The panic, right? Reactions to things is what we got to pay attention to, right? You got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? And look into things yourself, right? Look into the weather, look into the what's taking place, watch the take a look at all the different things and make your own judgment call on what you should do for you and your family based on what you see, because it's a lot of weather warfare taking place, in my opinion, and others' opinions as well. But I want to thank everybody for being here with us tonight. Thank you for, we had to cut it short last week. My mom had transitioned. So my mom's service is this Friday. And just been taking it one day at a time, right? And keeping it moving. But I want to thank everybody for their condolences, and thank you for the support in the chats. While we took a few days to digest, you know, because it's just, it's going to catch up later for me more than anything, right? It's just in different moments, but I'm going to take the advice from the chat this morning and just think about the good things, right? And the things that we used to always laugh about and always do together. And so I just want to thank my extended family and tribe for helping us get through that, and in the future as well. And we also lost other people in the last week, some people in the chat, right? Different people. I don't know if you've noticed people no longer commenting maybe, or just kind of fall off. We've lost a few people in the chats. We lost Scotty Martin. I believe that was a heart attack. We played a lot of his
heart failure.
Yeah, heart failure. So I want to send our condolences out to their families as well. But it's welcome to the war room. Glad to have everybody here. So how are you doing, Mickey? How are you doing, Miss Nadine? How's the weather where you're at? What's the temperature like?
We're at 11 in New York, but Bud
At
Light,
11.
yeah, 11. It's kind
Okay.
of like cornstarch, cold cornstarch, crunchy. Yeah, that's what the snow's like. So it's fake. I keep on forgetting to take out a lighter. I'm gonna be that weirdo that stands there with the lighter and tries to set the snow on fire. But it's fake. It really, you can tell it's not like it's supposed to be. So, but we got like it went up to my tires on my car, like above my tire. My whole car was covered with snow. But yeah, so I don't know how much snow that is, but I mean, going up to your tire, I don't know how tall they are, but yeah, it's a pretty decent amount. Huh.
Well, we had a heat wave today. We're up to 29 degrees. Um, the next night we're supposed to have negative is next Thursday. So I think we're okay for a little while.
What, negative 48 or what?
No, -2. It is supposed to be -2 Thursday. I can live with that. So, and I just want to say, hey, everybody. Hey, Hunter. Everybody sit back and enjoy the show.
There we go. So if you hear a few dogs in the background, I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance. Gracie's in heat, and I have two Chihuahuas. I have my mom's dog with me now, and my other little male dog. He's not a Chihuahua, but he's about the same size. He's trying to be real protective of his girlfriend, and my mom's dog Eli is a little male dog, so they're having a little battle back and forth of territory. So we've been battling with that all day for since I brought my mom's dog home like last week. So
Isn't there like some kind of scent, like wormwood or something? Can't you put something on that dog?
what like put something on the dog?
I
Like
can't, is it like a
tank,
scent or something?
milk.
I don't know. It just sounds really gross to me, but I'm not, I'd be puking. I always get male dogs. Yeah, there's got to be something you could, I mean, not powder or anything like that. Like wormwood. Wormwood is a nasty tasting stuff. I don't know. There's got to be something.
Well, the bitterer the better, because even the parasites don't like that shit. That's what you want. You want the more bitterer it is, the better. Bitter, better.
Yeah, maybe a cayenne pepper that'll keep the boys
You add
away.
honey, add a little honey to it. But yeah, so we're dealing with the territorial issues over here. Two little male dogs versus a big 100-pound um, pit bull type right breed that they can't reach. They can't have sexual relations with her
You know
because
what'd be
she's
funny
like,
is if it was if it was a boxer dog, and it starts
can you imagine a Chihuahua with a pit bull head?
womp, womp, womp.
Yeah, that would be crazy, wouldn't it?
I don't
So
know if
Tiffany,
even I could love that dog.
I think my brother had a dog like that. His name was Tank. He had a pit bull head and he had a short body.
Yeah, maybe you should have introduced her as Tank. Maybe that would have put them off. Hey boys, this is Tank, and they stay away from her.
Yeah, go the other way, Eli. So, as you can see, the weather was pretty bad. It's getting and it's going to continue up on the northeast. I'm not the weatherman, guys, or anything like that, but people need to be prepared. Uh, you already have power lines snapping from the weight of the water on the power lines and the poles in certain areas. People in Tennessee without power, people in our chats without power for at least 24 hours, if not more now. So it's pretty much impacting, as we can see right here. what is it? Upper Georgia, northern Georgia, Mississippi, Tennessee. Then we go up to the northeast.
You know, it was strange, those lines that you had on that video this morning, the lines that were coming in from the right hand, like from PA Atlantic Ocean.
Mhm.
Do you remember seeing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was strange. Like it looked like hands coming over.
Yeah. So here's Johnson City right now, Tennessee. Street lights are still on, so that's a good sign. Okay, okay. Checking it out. Just looking. All right, we have Tuesday morning. Okay, patchy black ice tonight into Tuesday. Y'all stay off the roads. Morning for Cherokee, Clay County, North Carolina. And 40 forecast zones. This is Lee, Russell, Scott, Washington, Wise, BA till 10 a.m. Eastern. Today's the 26th. This goes into tomorrow morning till 10 a.m. in these counties. East of Nashville. Go almost into Asheville. All right. They should have plenty of generators in that area after what happened at the last year, or was that last year, or how many years passed already after that? It's hard to keep up. Sunsets, Washington County. Here we see roads in BA. Trees falling. A couple little, pretty. See, this is also they had a blizzard and a tornado at the same time. I got the footage, which is unheard of to have a tornado in the middle of a blizzard.
Oh yeah. It sounds like manipulation big time.
So Tennessee is facing a winter disaster unfolding in real time, just kind of like they did in Houston. Residents describe the scene as a war zone, with loud explosions echoing through neighborhoods as ice-laden trees and power lines continue to snap and fall. So more than 200,000 people across Tennessee remain without power, many of them stuck in dangerously cold homes with no heat as temperatures drop. So we need to pray for these people, try to get out and help if you're in the area. Emergency crews are overwhelmed. Travel is nearly impossible, so it's hard to reach anybody when you get to this. It's like every man for himself at this point. So travel is nearly impossible to some areas, and restoration efforts could take days. And keep in mind, we got more cold weather coming. This is going to stay that way. So as long as the ice is there on the lines, it's going to be really hard for them to fix it until these lines are cleared. So here is that. This is just as you can see, the weather right there. And we have Nashville's a disaster, and it's going to take a long time to recover. Doesn't feel real. So it may not have affected your area, like further down south, like how they had us prepared, but it did affect further up north, and still having issues. Let me see if I can find the power line clip here. It was pretty crazy to witness those power lines laid over with all that ice on them. All right. So that is that. That's the little what we're seeing here. I'm sure everybody's watching the Weather Channel. The Weather Channel seems to be got a lot of views, right? The weather guy, they love it when this time of year or whenever there's some kind of issue with the weather. But here is.
All right, so welcome to my new show. The MIT, which I strongly believe runs the chemtrail project, along with NORAD, have taken a mid-Atlantic snowstorm, turned it into an ice event, and gave it to Boston. Surprise, surprise. So what we're going to do from now on is we're going to expose every day we're day chemtrail. We're going to put together some sort of, we're going to put together models, and we're going to show how the models change over time because of how their weather modification operations are happening. And if another meteorologist thinks I'm scared of them, Joe Bastardi, cannot out forecast me. So why would I be scared of you? Enough said. So anyway, we're going to start today. They are not giving up. So yesterday was a giant aerosol project and extended from all the way from Mexico all the way to New England. And today we see them here. Now, the thing is, these chemtrails have very special signatures on satellite photos. And because what happens is weather's still kind of an art science kind of thing. So you can look at a model and say, that's what I think is going to happen. But in order for these meteorologists that actually run this program to be able to visualize the art side and be able to say, okay, I think this piece of energy could do this or that, they need special signatures. And this is the exact special signature that you'll see. Very distinct, because if you look across the whole U.S., and the signature is very distinct on the water vapor loop. See this right in here? That's their signature. And then you come back here, they're chemtrailing back here as well in the Mexico and Texas. So those are their signatures. They're going to continue to push this storm further north because, again, they want Boston to be the target. If you were a meteorologist at MIT and you're running this program and snow's your favorite weather, wouldn't you do the same thing to sit there and show how bold and brave you are?
All right. So we have a lot of people watching the weather. This is from Paul Harris on X, episode pilot from our new chemtrail show. So people are going to make chemtrail shows and just start exposing it, right?
Yeah.
Should be fun. This is going to be real fun. So we're going to go every day. Also keep in mind, Michael Morales is another one that did it, has a history of this. He passed away about a year ago, so a couple of years ago from right after COVID from cancer. But he was covering the bunker fuels and stuff that the ships use out to sea, all that nasty ass oil or whatever it is, the byproduct of it. When they burn it off, you can see the ship line or traffic line out to sea based on these chemtrail that they leave behind, these bunker fuels. That plays a part in the weather, the air quality, etc. So the models that demonstrate through real physics how the U.S. government is moving these storms. I believe MIT that runs through this from the meteorological side took my blizzard. So now it's time to retaliate, and we're going to do that by shining the light. I don't see any purpose in posting what I would do if I were Snowden in the Moscow airport running Russia and China potential projects. They can do themselves quite fine. This is a U.S. environmental issue. We're going to do some flight-aware tracking as well and demonstrate how they turn off their transponders. So Paul Harris on X. There we got it. He has a master's in applied meteorology with a 4.0 throughout Weather College. He also has the world's only quantum VX model. I can forecast 25 days out. There we go. I'm going to share that. Here is I've never once in my life heard of someone seeing or recording a tornado and a blizzard at the same time. Geoengineering is a national security threat. Why would any government allow this to happen to their country? Right, and then you see this right here, right just in the background of the house. Y'all see that funnel cloud back there in the back?
Yeah, but
Behind the house.
they're not. it's not making the trees move at all.
Well, it's
Ah,
behind. Yeah, it's not.
it's like way out there.
This is behind the houses. Yeah, it's not close. Maybe if it got. This isn't that like. It's just make. You see the lightning?
Hmm. I'm just looking for the. I think we watched a video this morning, and
Good
the
lightning.
guy said that they're going to start putting different scenes up in the sky, and it's going to seem like it's real. And yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they would waste their time on a little ass tornado like this. With
all
I
right, all
think it
right.
would be more impressive.
They can do that. They have that kind of technology, right? We saw it at where
Yeah.
was that? Where Amos was showing that we played on the chat, where they go in there and they show in that bubble-looking thing, where they show the Wizard of Oz, right? It looks so real. They can do that on a large scale
Oh,
thing.
at the in Vegas,
Yes, the bubble-looking thing, the ball-looking thing. Yeah.
the Vegas Sphere.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. So if you notice right here, we'll see the funnel cloud, and you'll see the lightning. The flash. You'll see that quick flash. There's another flash. You hear the lightning. Boom! Sound like a gunshot.
Yours was strange sound too.
Yeah, a little here, right before the cold front, a couple things of thunder, and then that was it.
Yeah,
But
it rained a lot.
so I was like, wow, let's see how close this is, and then I didn't hear no more thunder. Right.
So what's it take to make a hurricane? Excuse me, a tornado. I know for a hurricane it takes warm and cool air. How does a tornado come about?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Kind of like that's why you had the tornadoes hit. Remember Florida right before the hurricane? They were doing some kind of tornadoes and hurricanes. So that's a good question.
So explain
I
to me
think sound and frequency.
during the middle of a snowstorm, where would warm air come in to make a tornado?
Exactly. So it must be
Something
manipulated.
from up above. They must be so. I don't. Yeah, weather manipulation.
Yeah, that would be the only thing that made any sense. So that's true.
Okay, my mind just wouldn't wrap around it. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yep. Here is the power lines.
There's that.
Yeah, so that's going to be hard. You got to wait for the damn lines, all that ice to come off the lines. These are collapsing over here. Allendale, Mississippi. That's crazy. Ain't it? Winter just said, "All right, I'm here," but it's not winter, right? So people saying chemtrails don't exist, but yet the same people will look up at the sky and say, "Look, honey, they're advertising the new movie." I remember they used to write stuff in the sky with that same. Okay, I remember that. So this was December 8, 2010. Billy Corgan, singer of the rock band The Smashing Pumpkins, tells the crowd about chemtrails in 2010. That was like 16 years ago. Right? So you can listen to the audience scream and go wild when he asked them, "Does anyone know what a chemtrail is?"
Chemtrails, yeah. You got a lot of chemtrails over here. Big sky, big chemtrail. Does anyone know what a chemtrail is? Will you turn to the person to your left and explain what a chemtrail is? Remember when the sky used to be blue? It was just blue. And then there was this toxic death smoke. Yes. Okay, my name's Billy. I'm now lecturing you about chemtrails. Just Google Billy Corgan chemtrails. Chemtrails, yeah. You got a lot of chemtrails over here.
Right, so that was 2010. I mean, he must have been a conspiracy theorist for at least 16 years. I guess everybody notices at different times. And then when you're in the industry, I'm sure somebody said, look at that. And they probably had conversations about it, right? I like the old clips, right? Because everybody thinks you're crazy, right? Oh, you're crazy. You're the crazy one. No, you're just, awareness is really low, right? Here we got the anarchy sign. Those pilots must be anarchists because something looks like the anarchy sign. They're playing tic-tac-toe right here. The sun is the middle. So I see a lot of these pictures. Everybody's posting them all over the internet, right? All over the country, all over the world, not just here, right? So I wanted to share that. All right, so then we're going to get into, here's some little things of silver that I wanted to share. I don't know. These are called pop bullion, divisible. There's only a little clip here.
Bullion Exchanges introduces the 1 ounce pop bullion divisible 3/9 fine silver round, designed for those who value versatility and stackability. Designed with matching break lines on both sides and struck with extra pressure, these divisible rounds guarantee a clean break when needed, allowing you to stack silver with ease. Crafted from 3/9 fine silver, these rounds are divisible into 4 1/4-ounce segments, making them perfect for those looking to diversify their holdings or share silver with others.
Right, ain't that kind of cool? Let's say silver goes to 400, just to make math easy. Each one of those little pieces of pizza or pie would be $100, right? So you could, like, if you needed to pay, or say it was 200 or 100, whatever it was, you could pop it off and give that instead of a whole 1 ounce coin.
Available now at Bullion Exchanges.
That's a Bullion Exchanges.
My landlord explained how they had silver or gold. There were actual chains that people would wear around their neck, and I guess that there's somehow they clip them, the gold and silver on the chain. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, you take the it's a necklace. It's a chain to hold a 1 ounce coin.
Oh,
Right.
good. You're gonna show us. Yeah, it was when she was little, because she's like in her
Like this.
80s, I think.
So what they do is they wrap this little ring around it right here, and it tightens it around the coin, and you put it on your necklace. Like if you have a silver chain or a silver coin, you kind of want to, you're traveling or whatever, want to, even your jewelry, stuff like that. But it's more so for spiritual and health than anything. You can see the different buffalo nickels, different ways that people travel or carry. Because some of these coins are really nice looking, right? Some people buy the designer different ones that they may like, and then just put it on a pendant, like for this one, for instance, like a little angel pendant. So you put the coin inside that, And then you tighten this little screw over here and it closes it right up on there, and then you just throw a chain on it, and then you can change out the coins for different things. Like, is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. She didn't show me one. She just explained it, but it seemed like there were a lot of pieces of the coins all over the necklace. I'm gonna try looking one up on
okay.
eBay or something.
Cool. So this is from I think it's Dabu7 right here. He's going to give us a report. Emergency orders issued. Engineered ice storm snaps power poles. We showed that. Mass power outages and blackouts. Let's look at the numbers. It's going to get worse, I think, with the outages maybe.
Hey guys, Dabu7 checking in with you here. We've been hit hard by this storm throughout the Midwest and the South, even up into parts of New England that have been hit with massive amounts of snow. And then the ice is crippling. You can see the image on the left here. It shows one of the power lines that's been brought down, snapped in two because of the weight of the ice on the lines. This is happening all over the place. Now, there's a big problem with this. Even though the snow and the ice has largely passed, there is crippling, and I mean crippling, cold air that they haven't seen in some time. Some places breaking records. This cold air is going to set in for the week, so it's going to encase everything in ice, frozen over, stopping people from being able to do a lot of things. If you have no power, just to get the power back up, they're going to have to get out here. They're going to have to dig. They're going to have to put new poles up.
Now think about that. The time it takes to do that. Right.
New lines, all that. That's going to take a lot of time. And they're going to be moving slow. They're going to have to coordinate, as I said before, with the ice trucks. And
so if it's anything like that happened down here in Houston, it could take weeks. And we just had a hurricane come through here. Like, and then they had to sit back and we had to wait for the energy companies to cut a deal or a check. Some kind of financial situation was taking place while we were waiting days for the first trucks to show up. Right.
everyone else that's helping.
Instead of just showing up, fixing it, and then submitting their invoices,
Right.
they have to make a deal with the energy companies beforehand. Yeah, negotiate.
To clear the roads and helping to clear this stuff out. But the salt doesn't.
But let's hope that's not the situation here. Let's hope. I've already seen a lot of these crews set up, ready to rock and roll. Let's hope that's the case.
Work once you get down so low in temperature. It just refuses to work. And then you're in a very bad situation. It seems like this whole week is set up for that. Engineered, if you will. Weather warfare, again, at its finest. This is why I put so much emphasis and alert and warning on these types of storm systems ahead of time. When we can see the setup out there and the warnings are going out, you have to heed the signs here. If not, people could be stuck freezing for a week or more because of this. Please check in with friends and family. Let me know in the comment section what it's like in your neck of the woods. If you're getting messages out through the phone because power's out, let me know again where at and how long you're facing. And check on friends and family again, big time. Make sure they're okay in this. Some people can be trapped again without power, I'm sure, because there's tons out there.
Right.
This deep freeze pushing the power grid to the brink, and the feds trying to avert all these blackouts. There's also over 12,000 flights canceled. Natural gas spiking. You've got some areas out there doing things they've never done before, like running off of majority oil. Okay, this is why the coal plants, the oil, all that is critical, especially in these extreme weather events. So, hope everyone is good out there, but I know some people are out there sitting without power, freezing right now. And I pray to the Most High they get help as soon as possible. And again, Salutes to everyone out there that helps their neighbor, friends, and family, the people that are in a bad position. We've got a long week ahead of us. Join me for the live stream, Going Live
There
Monday.
we go. Right, Dabu7. Check him out. Here it is, the channel. All right, good to go. See, I'm subscribed right there. All right, so we have we have a lot going on here. We're going to get into now. We're trying to figure out what it is
This is Doc.
that changed with the Second Amendment crowd, the Second Amendment crowd, the MAGA movement, right? What changed from just a few years ago to today, right? So the truth is under siege. You want me to read that first, or where's it at? Hold on one second. So, Truth Under Siege is tonight's title for tonight's show. Or no, When the Compass Breaks. That was this morning's chat. How political influence warps personal conviction. In every person's life, there exists a moral compass. Here, let me get this off the screen here. Let's go to So in every person's life, there exists a moral compass, a set of values, principles, and beliefs that guide decisions, shape character, and define integrity. These values are often forged through experience, education, culture, and personal reflection. But what happens when that compass breaks? Not like in a dramatic, visible way, but slowly, su- subtly, and under the weight of the political influence. So the erosion of conviction. It doesn't begin with betrayal. It begins with justification. A person who once stood firm against government overreach, censorship, or authoritarianism may find themselves defending those very things, not because their values changed, but because their compass no longer points true north. See, what people don't understand is political propaganda, tribal loyalty, and ideological echo chambers twist the needle a little bit. Suddenly, the same actions they once condemned become necessary. They become strategic and or justified. This isn't a hypocrisy, it's erosion. Conviction doesn't vanish overnight. It bends, warps, and eventually breaks under pressure. So the psychology of justification. Humans crave consistency. When their political tribe shifts, they often shift with it. Have y'all noticed that?
Yeah.
So we're talking about a shift that took place from like we stood in this on one side of an issue or a situation, and now we're on the opposite side. We kind of bend and flail in the wind, not because they've been reevaluated their beliefs, but because they need to reconcile their loyalty with their values. This leads to like a cognitive dissonance, the uncomfortable tension between what one believes and what one supports. So, to resolve this, people rewrite their internal narratives. Like, it's different when we do it, or the other side's way worse. Could have been Kamala.
Mhm.
This is the only way to protect what matters, is another quote. So these justifications are not rooted in principle, they're rooted in identity. The compass isn't guiding anyone anymore, it's being dragged. So the danger of um, convenience. When values become flexible, they stop being values. They become tools of convenience, applied when useful, ignored when convenient. This is how democracies weaken. how freedoms erode, and how people become complicit in the very systems they once opposed. The tragedy isn't just political, it's personal. A broken compass doesn't mislead or convince you that you're still on course and that you're still principled and that you're still right. Rebuilding the compass. Repairing a broken compass requires a brutal honesty. Re-examine your values without the filter of party loyalty. Ask hard questions. Would I support this if the other side did it? Seek diverse perspectives to challenge your assumptions. Prioritize principle over tribe. So true conviction isn't about being right, it's about being consistent. It's about standing firm when it's unpopular and inconvenient or even uncomfortable. So that's what we're going to go into next. We're going to transition into that. We're trying to figure out how MAG all of a sudden supports federalized and militarized police. But the conclusion is they always have done that. You just didn't know it back then because it wasn't an issue. It was more the COVID thing, right? They were all on board with the we will not comply with the mask mandate. We ain't taking no vaccines. Screw this.
No government
No
overreach.
government overreach. Arrest Fauci, right? To total submission. If you do not comply with ICE, you're going to die type mentality. Is that the same mentality that MAGA had during COVID? I don't think so. Did MAGA say comply or die in 2020? I don't think so. And they didn't say it in 21. They didn't say it in 22, 23, 24, and 25. But here recently they're saying it. So we're trying to figure out what the hell is it? What happened? Right? But it's the conclusion, like I said, is it's they're just rebuilding themselves. The system, the whatever you want to call it, the people like in the Matrix that will fight to defend the system. Right. Um, so this guy's going to explain why MAGA supports federal. Then we're going to go into um, the propaganda and the misinformation that was shared about this event right here in Minnesota by different, I want to say people call them MAGA, but I think they're just right wing podcast or just people.
Showing different angles and footage, right?
No, they were showing the propaganda.
Oh yeah, the propaganda. Oh yeah.
So we're seeing hypocrites versus hypocrites, right? MAGA pivots and all of a sudden now hates the Second Amendment. We're talking about Kash Patel here saying that it is illegal to show up to a protest with a firearm, but that hasn't been the case. So what it looks like is they're trying to soften MAGA up or a certain group of people to start accepting something that they wouldn't normally stand for 4 years ago. Like we said, the compass, their compass has isn't facing true north anymore. They've abandoned their values and everything they stand on or stood for 4 years ago. So we're going to play this here in a minute, but I'm sure everybody's heard Kash Patel. Republicans are now against the Second Amendment. But this has been going on for quite some time, for the last 8 years with Trump, with Pam Bondi. You see Trump here talking about take the guns without due process. This was 7 years ago. Dan Bongino reacts to Trump's first comments. This was 7 years ago. All right, so that's a good take. Which if you compare that to today, I'm sure his take would be different. I'm going to have to go look, right, to see where he stands and what has eroded. But here is.
This is one I've been thinking about for a while. My alarm's going to go off because it's going to go overtime and I'm on my break. And I need to get back to work here. But I've been thinking to myself, because I was a right-wing wacko conservative radio talk show host for over 25 years of my life. I'm almost 55. And I was a very, very antagonistic right-wing radio talk show host. And I remember when I was against big government. I remember conservatives back in the early 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, 2000s We were afraid of what's happening now. We were so afraid of tyrannical government taking over the United States of America, our own government. We feared our own government. But I guess we feared it at the hands of a Bill Clinton or an Obama or a Biden. And it's been bothering me because I'm wondering, like, what happened to Republicans? What happened to conservatives? We used to fear what Trump's doing right now, militarizing the police, militarizing ICE, militarizing all this stuff. We were worried about that. So get a load of this. I hope you'll stay to the end. Let me know if you did. A former FBI undercover agent just exposed something wild about far-right groups, and it's honestly terrifying. For decades, these anti-government militia groups operated in the shadows, right? They used to detest the federal government. They detested the feds. I remember, and I was one of them. I called them jackbooted thugs. I was alive for Ruby Ridge and Waco. I remember where I was on a college campus watching the television as the United States government went in and burned Waco down. Some of you weren't even alive. Some of you don't even know what that is.
Everybody remembers Waco, right? This audience remembers Waco, right? It was about the guns.
Ruby Ridge, all that.
They got a sawed-off shotgun in there. We got to burn this bitch down. Oh, they got Bibles in there too? Oh, hell no. Right. Remember Waco? Watching them buildings burn with people in them.
But something changed. That was under Bill Clinton, by the way.
Yeah.
And we were fearful that Bill Clinton was using the military and forces like that against its own citizens. Mike German, who worked undercover for the FBI through the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, said he used to call them anti-government militants. That's my alarm. I knew it was going to go off. But around Trump's first administration, he realized that wasn't accurate anymore. So Trump's first administration, 2016 to 2020, they became Trump supporters. They became pro-militarized police. They became pro-state, pro-heavy federal government. The same people who were warning about jackbooted federal thugs kicking in our doors are now cheering them on, kicking.
It's
How do you become the things that you said you were?
Cognitive dissonance.
Is cognitive
Because of propaganda, that it can happen that fast, that easily.
that easily?
Well, yeah. I mean, when you're fed one thing, but after, yeah, it's. I see it all the time. It's crazy. I mean, I've been guilty of it too, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like right now is not the time to be doing that.
Pro-state, pro-heavy federal government. The same people who were warning about jackbooted federal thugs kicking in
became the jackbooted federal thugs.
And for them.
Isn't that projection? Like, were they just telling us what they could, because they thought of it themselves, that what they could become if they were allowed to in that position to go after their enemies or people they hate?
Our doors are now cheering them on, kicking in our doors.
That's crazy.
It's mind-blowing, actually.
So that's what this show's.
We're here.
We're trying to figure this out. We don't know what the hell happened here, but like Rose Larkin said, they've always been that way. You just wasn't out in the open. It's just their turn now. And during COVID, it was the Democrats. Now, when you get to police state, militarization, surveillance state, the Republicans are all on board with that. Right.
I mean, I saw somebody.
So now it's their turn.
Posted about Ashley Babbitt and said, "Well, when she was shot, y'all said, well, she deserved it. Now it's your turn." Like, nobody deserves to get killed, okay? So we're not doing, well, you said it, and then now it's okay for us now. That's childish. How childish is that?
Doesn't it seem like the veil's been lifted for us? So now we're really seeing who they all really were.
Yeah. They're showing themselves, right?
Yeah.
Showing their asses.
Showing your ass. Well, would you go out there and show your ass?
I mean, and I noticed,
The mask come off.
it's not really any with their own opinions. They're just sharing something that you see over and over by different people sharing the same thing. See what I mean?
Yeah, I think we didn't see it before.
Right.
Like we did, but we kind of were like, well, I think I know what they mean. Kind of gave them a pass. That tolerate word. I hate that freaking word tolerate.
See, I
Right.
told you the Republican Party and the Democrat Party is not divided out here. We have a lot in common,
Yeah.
right? Left and right. They both want a North, someone to rule over their enemies or group of people they hate. Both parties want the same thing. It looks like, right? They were for the medical tyranny. Now the Republicans are for the police tyranny.
Like, 'cause they'll
That's why you got the
justify
back the blue flag. You
those-
can't talk to somebody that flies a back the blue flag about whether or not something's justified or not, because they're always going to be biased towards the police
they'll
officer and the
justify
government.
a wrongdoing
You're
because
not
it's
even going to win.
something.
They don't care constitutional or the Constitution. We got officers to save.
Oh, yeah, really. We got officers to save.
It's like
America, people's lives.
You're funny.
Period.
they don't they can't save people because then they would have to recognize the Constitution. You see what I'm saying?
All
You know what?
lives.
I went after somebody in a
You don't look at us as people.
one of the news things, and I was trying to explain about traveling, and they're like, well, we'd have pavement, and they're like, you can't travel or something if you're on pavement. I'm like, and I looked up when they really started doing pavement, and it was like 1956. So it was thrown out, like it started in like the early 1900s, but then they really ramped it up. You know how the government, how slow,
Oh, yeah.
if it's not something they want. Yeah, so they really ramped it up in around the 1956 mark because they made some kind of like they got everybody involved. So then that argument was thrown out. So the guy didn't have anything else to say because he was like, well, it's driving on pavement. No, dude, you just you're not paying attention. They're just getting over on everybody. They've gotten over on all of us for so long. It's just taking some people to catch up to stop being dumb.
So COVID was 4 years ago. Here we have unmasked woman arrested again. She got arrested twice for not wearing a mask. Guess what happened? Nothing. So what we're seeing is all the people that were okay with the tyrannical cops back 4 years ago are now showing that they're okay with the tyrannical ICE agents too. So if you're okay with this woman getting arrested and slammed to the ground because she walked in a bank and she said, I don't want to fucking wear a mask, then you got problems. You're probably a fucking blue line bootlicker, right? And there's no getting through to you. You don't stand for the Constitution. You're actually opposite of that. They took the American flag, blacked it out, and put a blue line across it. You've been in a blackout since the Patriot Act. So here we got, this is what happened. This is 4 years ago, so this isn't, it just went dormant. Right. Now we make law enforcement the hero this year in 2026, but this year.
Come on, dude.
Don't do that. Oh, no.
Look at this.
Do not touch me.
This is what wasn't addressed 4 years ago. It's been untouched by the right wingers.
Here.
Don't resist, man.
Look, stop and comply or die, woman.
Ma'am, put your hands behind your back.
Comply or die.
Say, you don't stop resisting. Stop.
Are you gonna
Punch her in the head. She's resisting. Hurry, get your gun out. You're in fear for your life.
here?
Right. Look at this shit. So this is what went unaddressed. So now they're back, but now it's their turn. Right. It's no longer the Fauci gang. Fauci, right? Everybody wanted everybody in a mask. They wanted, hell, my neighbors told me I was going to have to wear a mask. I said, you're crazy.
Right.
You ain't nobody here going to make me wear no damn mask because you're in fear of a cold. Right. So that's what has been going on. Hasn't been addressed. Nobody got in trouble. He didn't get fired. He probably even got promoted. So here we are again. dealing with the shit that we didn't deal with 4 years ago today.
I'm glad somebody else is validating this because I thought I was in an alternate reality, an alternate universe. A Georgetown law professor put it perfectly. She said it's not surprising that people are fine with police, even militarized police, cracking heads when it's people they don't like, but not okay with it when it's people that they sympathize with. And I've been saying this all along. I've been saying this. And then to hear, experts and FBI informants and law professors and all these college professors, like they're just letting me know I'm not crazy. So here's the pattern. The Southern Poverty Law Center confirmed that when there's a Democratic administration, these so-called patriot groups grow. When there's a Republican administration they agree with, they shrink, they pull back. They're more in the shadows and on the periphery. So they're not anti-government. They're just anti-government that they're not in control of.
They want to pick their slave master. When their slave master's cracking the whip, fuck yeah. When it's a Democrat slave master cracking the whip, right? They're just real picky about who spanks them and puts them in handcuffs, right? Everybody has
saying this. Laura Ingraham, I used to work for Fox for 7 years. I'm not a fan of Laura Ingraham. I never have been, and I'm not now. Laura Ingraham called IRS agents under Biden the new Gestapo. But under Trump, she said it's borderline illegal to even criticize ICE agents. She said that. The hypocrisy is stunning. It's unbelievable. These groups are not about principles at all. They're about power. Don't you ever forget that.
Power and control, folks. That's what I'm saying. Keep your principles, stand on something, stand on in your square, stand on business, stand on something, but fucking stand on it. Don't sway. Right? Unless it's something that you made a bad decision and it's going to lead you in a bad direction, then you make a decision to change directions. That's being a wise. But what I'm talking about is the foundation.
Right. Don't get emotionally charged.
Don't build your castle on sand.
Right. And like 66 said, it could have been AI, right? Yes, it could have been.
Yeah,
it could be a psychological operation.
Yes.
Because the article on the shooting is actually on the military.com, which may be a form of legitimacy or also could be part of military psychological warfare, right? But it does make a good talking point to point out these things because this is kind of
learning. You got to learn from the shit.
Officers shooting people. It has been going on for a long
time.
So maybe it's to feel out how people react, how they all react to these things, right?
Right, so they can
to expose what's been going on.
Yes, so that we can have the real discussion, so that we can make a real change.
So whether it was real or not real, it serves a purpose.
It serves a purpose.
Yes.
Psychological operations could be negative or positive, but either way, you learn something from them because psychological operations. This is the thing with psychological operations; those wounds heal, right? Like they say, psychological operation wounds heal. Bullets don't. Okay, so that's why I say enjoy the show, because you're not going to the streets and going to shoot each other in the face and all this other stupid shit that everybody wants to do. Civil War. We got Super Bowl coming up. We got Daytona 500, March Madness. We got way too much entertainment to be entertaining stupid shit.
I don't see anyone actually going to do that anymore.
Like, at least let us know when you're going to schedule this so we can all tune in and get, was it going to be pay-per-view or what? And who is it going to be? Who against who? Like, get off the gas. We're more united than we ever have been, and we're getting there, and we're getting closer. And Civil War talk is for the fools that just want everything to go to shit because they don't want to face accountability.
Right.
And now they feel that one of their own is in charge. They know he's in charge. So now federal.
So think about that. Somebody said a couple of years ago, they said, you know what's going to happen, Sheepdog? I said, what's that? And they said, you know, if Trump gets in there, MAGA's going back to sleep. I said, yeah, you're probably right. But if Kamala gets in, MAGA will keep fighting. I said,
Right.
wow.
And that's
And
so true.
and I said, you're right. And I said, I hope that doesn't take place. But sure enough, they put him back in there and rocked him back to sleep. Everybody, I did the same thing in 2017 when he got in. I went back to sleep. I was like, well, shit, he's in there now. I can go ahead and it ain't Clinton. I can just stop paying attention to shit that's going on, and then come back a couple of years later, and here comes COVID, and I'm like, what in the shit
Yeah.
took place that I missed? Because we were trying to avoid this new world order agenda. We were trying to avoid all this shit, but they brought it to the doorstep anyway. Regardless of who was in there, the agenda still went forward. Nobody's been held accountable. Still, nobody's been held accountable for decades for the past abuses that have taken place with Fauci for decades, right? Testing on foster kids, testing on animals, killing kids. And he's still able to come on the world stage in front of everybody with Trump's blessing to say, hey, these vaccines are totally safe and effective. Everybody needs to get them. We're going to shut down the country for 14 days, destroy small businesses. All kinds of shit took place. The world changed
Yeah, it
then.
did.
It hasn't been the same since. But throughout all that, we are coming to the light, I believe. It's taken a little bit, but we're getting there.
Yes, definitely.
So,
Law
well,
enforcement.
this isn't an attack on any group, left or right. This is just so that we can all come together and realize what the hell is taking place here that's keeping us from crossing the finish line. Where it's really just all of us coming to self-realization and freeing our minds of the propaganda from whatever networks, and just research, look into things yourself first before you go, and then that way you can figure out who's telling you the truth and who isn't. But if you're just consuming everything and you don't know what propaganda is or what it's not, you could eventually become something that you said you were never to be. And that's why we speak so much about the Smith-Monk Modernization Act that took place under Obama, that's being used now against the people. So you got to be made aware of that. Let's look at these negative events happen, but what can we do to stop more people being shot in the streets of America and then be labeled terrorists or suspects? We don't label the victim of a crime a suspect unless we got something to cover up. We have heads of departments, Christy Nome, right? The head of Border Patrol coming out without even letting the investigation be completed, making claims to trash the victim, right? They bring up their criminal history. They bring up what they did in third grade to spitballs on the damn chalkboard or something. They go back and they dig up all this shit. This is what's been going on for decades. Every time they got something, they fuck up. They blame the victim of the situation and demonize the like they're doing with the whether it be a psychological operation or not. It's still something that the federal government and local government has always been doing for decades with the people in the community.
Plus, they still under investigation, right? If
Right.
they go out there and say all this stuff when they don't even
Have all the facts.
exactly.
Therefore,
So they paint a picture,
controlling
paint
the
a
narrative
Yes.
for the people that don't research, that don't have time to go look at anything. They just take the word of whoever the fuck's in front of the microphone, and that's very dangerous when after we just came out of the COVID, this pandemic thing. So people are still biting on what a politician says happened. Is
Or
going to bite
an
on the next
official
official
expert, right?
expert with
We
lab
said we
coat.
would never let that happen again.
Right.
We
Just
would
because
never
they
trust these things.
no badge and a gun, lab coat syndrome is what they call it. Um, I don't know what they call it when you just listen to everything a police officer says. I think it's a bootlicker, but that's a really could be a derogatory. It's something else. I don't know what it is. But we have to take back control over our sovereignty, over our minds, over everything that we do with our bodies and ourselves,
And have your own mind.
and have your own opinions and own thoughts about what's taking
Critical
place.
thinking.
Critical thinking. Psychological operations doesn't mean you suspend all critical thinking. You don't suspend that because it's you still have to okay, give it a few days, right? So the first thing that comes out is all the bullshit propaganda and the lies, which by the time the truth comes out, you can ask any police officer out there. And by the time the truth comes out in the investigation, it's nobody even there to listen to it.
Right, it's already passed.
It's already passed.
And then the next thing is going on.
militarized police, militarized thugs on the street charge. So now federal law enforcement, militarized police, militarized thugs on the streets with barely any trainings and big pew-pews and wearing masks. That's suddenly fine for the right wing, for MAGA. They're totally fine with it because their guy is in the White House calling all the moves. So the danger isn't about left versus right anymore. It's about who gets to wield government force and against whom they're going to wield that force against. And that should terrify you. It explains why MAGA is such a hypocritical group of voters right now, because this is the stuff, and I remember it. They don't want you to hear from people like me because I was not one of them, but close to being one of them. I was as right-wing as many people could get. And I was on the radio. I was like a Charlie Kirk on talk radio. I was on the airwaves. He was doing a podcast. He was doing college campuses. I was doing talk radio around the country. 7 years for Fox News. And I remember being so against government doing what it's doing today. And I was wondering what happened to the Republican Party, what happened to conservatives, and now we know. When it's their guy in power, and as long as they're kicking in doors and knocking in skulls that are the doors and the skulls of people they don't like, they're totally for it. Let government get as big and as aggressive and as militaristic as it wants to be as long as their guy is in power.
I can't tell you much about what happened because I am trying to protect the people involved.
All right, so that was the point of the video right there.
We don't own rights to that.
Right.
These videos, it's for educational and entertainment purposes only.
So when COVID hit, even though I had my red hat, right, I still defended the Democrats and being poisoned with that damn bioweapon. I didn't give a shit. I didn't make fun of them. Well, we did the mask thing, right? Everybody, but the left and the right put the mask on. The left and the right did it. It's not really a left or right issue. This is an American issue. This is everybody got duped during those times, right?
Yeah.
With the propaganda, with all the push by the Hollywood and the politicians to go out and do things that you normally wouldn't do for hamburger and French fries, shit like that. Some people had to like get out of the military because they didn't do certain things and take the vaccine. People's careers were ruined. People lost their jobs. People had to do that in order to keep their jobs and continue the career that they loved. And I think that's not right, regardless of what side you're on. And I think that for most of us, we feel the same way, that we care overall for the people. So what took place here, I want to point out something, and then we're going to go to MAGA pivots and hates the Second Amendment. We're going to break this down with Kash Patel. But here's the propaganda that was spewed without anyone. See, you have to go and look at the footage, whether you believe it's AI, whether you believe it's psychological, regardless, right? So you got to go review it, especially if you're like if you're putting a takeout on something that you say you've seen, and then it comes to find out that's not what happened. There goes your whole reputation.
Right.
Right.
So always question all of it.
Right.
Question,
Go look at it for
question.
yourself, regardless of what somebody else says. Look at it from an unbiased viewpoint. I know we're all tired of seeing this scene, and I think it's going to come to an end at some point, because this isn't the ICE that was around under Obama. So I don't even understand what these people are out here doing anyway, fucking with everybody. I thought they all had work to do. There sure is a lot of border patrol just here on this one block. That's another thing.
Well, I mean, ICE is supposed to be getting immigrants, right? Not protesters.
Not spraying people with mace?
I don't know, but
I have not covered this incident with the killing of Alex Preddy in Minnesota because it has
So
become
I'm just going to do a couple minutes here because we're just going to show the different propaganda pieces. Let's go to it.
A political football to the point where people's minds are becoming so demented and the critical thinking has gone so far out the window. I'm amazed. And I don't typically get amazed by that. Yeah, some things are a little bit surprising and catch you off guard. But when you have video evidence from 3 separate angles about what happened, and you see people get on social media, these propagandists get on social media and try to tell you that something happened when you can see for yourself that it actually didn't happen, alarm bells go off. And it makes you think, wow, the propaganda and the indoctrination of Americans has been so effective and so complete that people are denying what their eyes see and what their ears hear. And that's kind of what Orwell said in 1984. One of the key objectives of the state, of Big Brother, was to get people to reject what their eyes have seen and what their ears have heard. It was the most important command of the state to exercise control. And that's what we're seeing. And just for a couple of examples, I wasn't going to cover this. I covered it on my other channel, but I'm going to cover it here because this has everything to do with what tyranny is. Tyranny is oppression or suppression of a person or a group of people by a person or another group of people who thinks they're superior, and they can use arbitrary laws or they can use codified laws to do it. Legalized tyranny is still tyranny. Tyranny under, we have good intentions is still tyranny. Kind professional tyranny is still tyranny. And we're going to watch this video evidence of what actually unfolded with Alex Preddy and the Department of Homeland Security, specifically the Border Patrol agents. But I want to show, we're going to watch what actually happened, but I want to first play for you what these people are trying to convince you happened that didn't actually happen. Check out this.
Now, this is important, and this is for educational purposes, guys. This isn't to bash any group, but if we can figure out what the hell throughout the propaganda, what made us take these positions that we normally wouldn't take. You got a shirt that with American flag on it with a fist. Okay. It says cry all you want. And it has 1776 on there with the circle. It's a republic, right? Going back constitutional. But that's not his position. So it's like you're wearing the gear. Your name is Patriot. You put all, or whatever name you want to put online. 1776, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But your positions aren't in line with that, or they were, but it's like the other guy said, Trump's in office. If this was Obama, it'd be different. That was a Republican that got shot, or if it was like a MAG, whatever team, if it was this guy's team, he would take a different position. So that's where we go back and forth. You got to stand on it, quit, no matter who it is. If it's a Democrat that wants to carry a gun to a protest, he has all rights just as much as you have. That's all. You just got to hold that position.
Insanity. It's almost like the insane asylum emptied all of their patients into the street, and all those patients got social media accounts and said things like this.
Well, what do we have here? Another liberal who FAFO'd.
FAFO'd, effed around and found out.
You gonna try to pull a gun on ICE agents and dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die.
You're going to try to pull a gun on ICE agents. Is that really what happened? I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Libertarian. I don't care what.
Yeah, he didn't pull a gun on ICE agents. So let's continue.
What your political ideology is. Let's just talk about what actually happened. Let's talk about what we can actually observe without making crap up like this. And just wait, we haven't even started yet.
Dumb ways to die. A dumb way to die. Oh, the ICE agent shot him. Yeah.
He's got a Gulf of America. He's got a Gulf of America hat on. I think that's Trump's biggest accomplishment so far, is changing the name of the ocean. You got a Gulf of America hat on.
Oh, the ICE agent shot him. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Didn't we make fun of the? Where's they making fun of the left during COVID about when they were doing stuff like that, justifying.
Remember Ashley Babbitt got shot?
Yeah.
And MAGA was pissed off. And then they didn't like it when the left said, oh, Ashley Babbitt got shot.
Right, exactly.
So it's just like a back and forth.
Because he pulled the gun out. Black folk know that.
Because he pulled a gun out? Really?
No, he didn't pull a gun out.
You don't pull no gun out when
Well, no shit.
agents trying to arrest you.
He didn't look at the video. He just read the Fox News article or CNN or whatever.
That's a quick way to make it to the upper room.
Okay, here's another guy right here who has no ability to think critically or to discern or to objectively convey the truth about an incident that everyone can view for themselves because it's video recorded for all to see.
Guy pulls a gun on federal agents, ends up getting himself killed. Of course, the Democrats are going to side with the guy that pulled the gun on the federal agents. That's what all of their rhetoric is doing, getting their Looney Tune followers all screwed up in the head. How about you say, look, don't pull guns on federal officers? Is that too difficult to say?
If you haven't seen the video yet, you would think that the video that we're about to take a look at.
Yeah, he didn't see the video. He just made content, put it out there, and it gets passed around, and it resonates with the people that even if it's a lie, it resonates with somebody that wants to hear that. They want to be right, to be justified. So they make this content, people share it, and then they look stupid, and then you look stupid, and then you got to go back and clean it all up and apologize, especially if you got a damn podcast or a channel like this. You got to say, man, I got fucked pulled. Right. So here we got
that the video that we're about to take a look at, you fully expect to see a guy pulling a gun out on a federal agent. One guy, and I'll show you this in a second, one guy actually says he pulled a gun on the federal agents and, quote, clacked off a round. But first, her.
He brought a weapon with 2 extra magazines and everything.
That's not illegal. As a matter of fact, it's constitutional.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Like how we just forget it. This is America and people have the right to carry a gun to a protest. And then you got Crash Patel saying stupid shit.
Protected by the Constitution, the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Nothing wrong with bringing a gun to a protest or extra magazines, or for that matter, strapping an AR or an AK onto your back.
He gets in a fight, all right, with another fucking protester, a woman. No.
Also not true.
No, the ICE or Border Patrol agent pushed the woman.
He's not getting into a fight with another protester who's a woman.
A women's rights activist here. Of course not. And wouldn't you know, the very people she's protesting end up saving her ass because that motherfucker had her in a chokehold.
So now she paints the Border Patrol agents as the heroes who are saving the woman that the hero just pushed into the snow from a guy who's actually trying to get in between the Border Patrol agent and the woman that he victimized.
ICE gets him off of her. They pepper spray him. He starts fighting them. They go to the ground. He reaches for his weapon, and now he's no more. And
he reaches for his weapon.
She didn't even watch the video.
Yeah, the video shows it. I mean,
I wonder how many views she got. I wonder how many people watched that. Like, is that like does she got like 500,000 views on that bullshit? This is what we're battling with right here.
And we're going to look at the video evidence. You tell me if you see a guy reaching for his weapon.
People on the left still fucking deny it.
And then the
people on the left, we got to make it an identity politics. We got to go left or right, keep it divided at all fucking times. And then we got NPCs that got YouTube and TikTok accounts that make videos like that.
There's this guy.
In case you need to hear this, you are not going to win a fucking gunfight with federal agents.
Well, no shit. Who's going in for a gunfight with federal agents?
Meet Dunk, who just tried to get into a gunfight with federal agents.
Really?
Man.
He tried to get into a gunfight with federal agents. Now we get to the blonde version of the...
Hey, you know what? Everyone's lucky. This is what comes into may help y'all out and everyone out, is the fact that the Smith-Monk Modernization Act of 2013 made it all legal, even if it's a lie. Yeah, so there's kind of a grace there where for people, because people could be really being held accountable from a whole other level.
At some point, there probably will be. So.
If they didn't make it legal for propaganda to be used on the American people. So it's like a learning phase.
Lying propagandists.
Interesting. I find it horrific that.
So you learn, and then that's how you replace the media, is when people are able to be unbiased and see things from a different angle.
Be a replacement of media, and you're going to be biased.
Yeah, if you're pushing a party line or like some political bullshit.
Because that's what they've been doing this whole time, right? So we can't do that anymore. People are going to get wrong information, right? So.
Or twisted like they're doing here, how they just lean it towards the right-wing propaganda, see the MAGA hat in the back. Right, which she probably doesn't ever wear. It's just for the video.
And Wells have brainwashed their voter base so much that they think it's okay to pull a gun on a federal officer.
That's not what happened.
That's pretty horrific. What I would not do is go out and seek confrontation and attack officers.
What I would not do is walk up to a buffalo and try to pet it. Everybody knows that. Duh. Did you look at the video? Right, so we got to look at the video.
While having a gun on me.
Let me ask you something. Is grabbing your cell phone to record public servants in the course of their duties so that you can lend some measure of transparency to the public, is that tantamount to seeking confrontation?
What I would...
Yeah, to someone that doesn't like the Constitution. And someone exercising their First Amendment right, freedom of press.
Not do is go out and seek confrontation and attack officers while having a gun on me.
Hey babe, hold my beer. I'm gonna go look for a cop to seek a confrontation with today because I ain't got nothing else to do.
My life's boring. I gotta
I'm bored.
spice it up a
We're
bit.
gonna start a new trend on TikTok. Let's just go fuck with cops and law enforcement because we want to be fuck. You know, come on, excuse my language, but like, duh. But did you look at the video, ma'am? So it's kind of hard that you would. I don't know. We might want to start reviewing shit instead of. I think what's going on is whoever's giving her information, and this may have even happened to us in the past. Whoever's giving her information may have an angle or a bias or an agenda. So then she repeats it. It's monkey see, monkey do, right? Repeat and repeat, echo chambers, and they all just all.
It was her mom.
And even in the chats.
Yeah, her mom.
And then reach for it. Because I know that would get me shot. I would never attack. I would never attack an officer. I would never resist arrest. I would never pull a gun on one.
Well, yeah, we know you wouldn't resist.
Until you...
We know you're totally going to comply. You look like the type that's going to comply. You're not the resistor type. You're not the resistance either.
Yeah, you never know when it comes down to it.
Would you ever defend an innocent person who's being attacked by an officer, though? I mean, doesn't a person with a good conscience, an eye for justice, and a heart to resist tyranny, wouldn't that person get involved in saving a person from a government oppressor as well as any regular street thug oppressor? But the cherry on the top of this cognitive dissonance, cognitive bias Sunday is what this guy says.
Could it be? I don't know. Maybe he pulled a firearm on federal officers. If you guys were unaware, that gets you shot. And just to be clear, not only did he pull the firearm, he clacked off a round. He pulled a gun and tried to shoot federal officers.
Just to be clear, he pulled a gun, he pulled the trigger, and he clacked off a round. This is the mental midgetry and the psychological buffoonery that keeps us as slaves on the plantation.
Yeah, you get shot for that. That guys, we have to stop pretending like we don't know how this works.
We have to stop pretending that a guy did something in a video that he didn't do.
If you try to shoot a federal officer, they will shoot you back. Why are we pretending that we don't know this? Why are we pretending that this?
Dude, if you try to shoot at me, I'm gonna shoot you back. Like that, you see how this works? Right? Duh.
Some new fucking information that we've never heard before.
Why you keep making...
Why does he come off like a... I don't even think I don't know what the hell's going on. I think he just makes content. I think people just make content based off emotions and or misinformation pushed out by their source that they're getting it from.
Crap up that just didn't happen. But the coup de grace of propaganda and lies comes straight out of the mouth of cosplay Barbie.
Individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
What does that give you the impression of? He approached the officers with a handgun. The picture that develops in my mind is somebody approached with a handgun. Not that he had it on him. The assumption would be, for somebody who hasn't even seen the video yet, is that this guy was the aggressor who was brandishing his firearm and threatening lives and had to be taken out.
The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently.
I'd prefer to look at it like the guy who was being attacked acted self-defensively.
Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots.
It was actually, as we will soon see, they were offensive shots fired from this agent right here into the back of a man who had just been disarmed by a fellow Border Patrol agent. This is an unjust attack, no matter how.
I thought he got into a shootout and pulled his gun and there was a mass casualty event but he's the only one that got shot. Never had a gun in his hand.
How you look at this thing?
The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition
Oh shit!
in them that held dozens of rounds.
By the way, having
Damn, who's got a magazine that holds 1 round? And what's the point of having a magazine if you're only going to put 1 round? You wouldn't want to put more than 6 in there, right? If not, a revolver holds about 5, maybe 6.
a firearm with extra magazines that hold dozens of rounds is what's that called? Oh, that's right. It's called constitutional. It's an action that is protected or supposed to be protected by the supreme law of the land. And these guys are supposed to be protecting that right, not trying to paint a picture that anybody who exercises that right is automatically a criminal. But she ain't done yet.
This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
She's lying. How does she know what was on his mind or his plans if she no big investigation's been complete and he's dead?
That's the issue right there.
See the issue? She just lied
So they paint a narrative for you.
because they fucked up. The truth is they murdered somebody in the streets. So now they got to paint the victim as the criminal. So now they're going to pull up all of what he did in 3rd grade with the spitballs on the fucking chalkboard. They're going to pick up skipping school in 12th grade, smoking weed, anything like that. Just really paint him like real dirty, right? But if you go to military.com, you can pull up the article on him. He's a VA doctor, nurse. So this is what we're talking about here. This is the shit. But it's okay. But it's okay.
Right here is
it's okay because Smith Monk that. She can say whatever the fuck she wants.
Projection campaign. This is
For now.
propaganda. And the message is, if you try to exercise your constitutionally protected right to keep a firearm and extra magazines, you will be seen as somebody who wants to inflict maximum harm and kill law enforcement agents. The message couldn't be more clear. This is called tyranny, hypocrisy, and propaganda. Let's go through the 3 camera angles once, and then we'll go back over it in slow motion.
All right, the aggressor right here. You see the Border Patrol guy pushing the woman, fixing to push her back onto her head. She could have bumped her head, and it could have killed her. Okay,
That's
so
all I see.
here we have the guy over here saying, "Whoa, any man going up to push a woman like this, anywhere I'm at, is going to get approached like this. I don't care what uniform you're wearing." So this is a natural reaction, right there. Hey, what are you doing? She's on the ground. Who's the aggressor here? What happened to de-escalating?
Exactly.
That they don't de-escalate. They think they could just do whatever they want, right? With the mask on. That's what cowards do. Push women down with mask on, right? So this shit ain't gonna fly in America, is it? Right? So then we see right here, now he's going after him. Boom, pepper spray to the face. Right. Still spraying him. Right. This is the guy that just pushed the woman to the ground. Nobody's over there helping the woman except for this lady over here. All right. Now he's on his knees. Now we got what, 5 or 6 people over there on him?
Yep.
Didn't that sheriff say this was intimidation?
Yes.
That 5 or 6 men on a scene that the sheriff said that only takes 3 officers to handle anybody in town in an alley, but it takes these guys 8 people with masks. Right, on the ground, no gun in the hand. I think they got him under control, right? What is anybody in fear of with 8 officers at this point? Beat his ass, kick him. Boom, boom, boom. Kicking and punching him. Yeah, right here. Spray, kick his ass, fuck him. He shouldn't have got in between while I was beating that lady's ass. Spray him, beat his ass, kick him. You gotta yell, "Stop resisting," ain't that right?
Yeah.
You gotta yell, hey officers, we gotta yell, "Stop resisting," while you beat their ass. That way you cover your ass in court. Stop resisting, stop resisting. Right? Stop resisting, kick him, punch him. Oh. There he goes. See it.
Honestly.
Right, so different angle. Now you see him being, yeah, this is America, right? So remember the Charlie Kirk situation when he got shot on the stage, blood coming out the side of his neck. Same situation here, but MAGA is now on the side of the person that shot the other person. So they flipped.
The agents.
Honestly.
This guy's just, I don't know what the hell his deal is right here. He's seeing everything. He sees everything. He's already drawing his gun. So he's already there. He's already fixing to go deadly force. Now, boom, got his gun pointed at him. Nothing's been pulled out. Nothing, shots been fired yet. He's already got his gun ready.
Yeah.
So any little split-second move, he's already been determined to be executable, assassinated on the streets. All right. No, so we didn't go from verbal. We went straight to physical. We went to pepper spray, which is escalating the ladder of force. And then from pepper spray, we're going straight to deadly force with a firearm. Totally not doing anything with de-escalation. You have all the numbers. There's a gun that's fixing to be removed from the guy's back that the guy right here with the gun looking at it can clearly see if that's his back facing him. But he's got a gun pointed at him. And just that fast, something went off once the gun was removed from him. And then they just unload. This guy could have got friendly fire right here. I don't even know if any other officers have been shot. Everything's right now. You got an American laying in the middle of the road that the White House now calls a terrorist. So these are victims over here with the guns, and the suspect is on the ground, dead. How does the victim have the gun? And the suspect is never even had a firearm in his hands. So psychological operations or not. This is, now you see this guy walking off. So then we go back to all this propaganda here.
This Sunday is what this guy
And we
said.
see what this is all about, right? That they didn't even look at the video.
Pretty horrific. What I would not do is go out and seek confrontation and attack officers while having a gun on me.
Let me ask you something. Is grabbing your cell phone to record public servants in the course of their duties so that you can lend some measure of transparency to the public, is that tantamount to seeking confrontation?
What I would not do is go out and seek confrontation and attack officers while having a gun on me and then reach for it. Because I know that would get me shot. I would never attack. I would never attack an officer. I would never resist arrest. I would never pull a gun on one.
Would you ever defend an innocent person who's being attacked by an officer, though? I mean, doesn't a person with a good conscience, an eye?
Right. So there you go. Now we see what we're looking at here. So we want to go and see what has been taking place with these officers, right? What's been going on? Where they come from? Anybody know? Why are they wearing masks? Anybody know?
But what happens when you have officers in the United States fly over into Israel and they train with the IDF soldiers? They train with them in domestic terrorism tactics. If you go and train with these people who are doing these human rights violating tactics and maneuvers and murders and cold-blooded killing, then you train so that you can bring it over here into your city, our cities. You really have to conceive of something here. And that is that evil, wicked, rich people don't give a damn about the average person. They don't care. See, when you think that people genuinely care the way you care, that's where you make the mistake, thinking that these rich people, some of them, genuinely care. They don't. So what's happening over there, I believe, will happen here. Why am I saying that? You have something called ICE. It's causing a divide between a number of people, and that's because some people fell into the psychological trap. Well, these illegal immigrants are taking our jobs. Okay. Well, these illegal immigrants are criminals. Yeah. Well, these illegal immigrants, they're doing this, they're doing that. I agree with certain things. I definitely do. But ICE, ICE, who was rounding up not just illegal immigrants, just so you know. ICE rounded up people who were not illegal. ICE rounded up people who are black, born in America, people who are born here. They have rounded up people in a terrible way. They are absolute vigilantes given a license to do whatever the hell they want to do, and they cover their faces, don't show their identities. You have to be mindful here. Hold on. If you want to say, well, Reza, hold on now, bro, I'm with you, but we got this issue with the brown folk, and we got this issue with these folks, and I hear all of that. Here's what I want us to look at. What can they do to us with what they are saying they are doing for us? If they say, well, ICE is here to protect the people who live in America, to secure our borders, to secure our streets, okay, sounds noble, sounds nice, sounds righteous. Remember who you're hearing it from. The same bastards who tell you that the food is safe, it's fine, that the vaccines are safe, they're fine. It's okay. Things are good here. America's the greatest nation on earth. You don't have to worry about anything. Okay, you're listening to the same people who lied to you on a daily, and now they're saying, well, ICE is here to help you. To help who? Be careful listening to this devil. Just be careful. Many of you work for ICE because you're broke. Make this very clear. It's just like signing up for the military for a lot of people. It went from patriotism and me loving my country and my nation to, I want to go to school, but I don't have money to pay for it, and I need a bonus. I need that money because that'll help me out with some bills, these student loans, this stuff that I'm backed up on paying. Let me go ahead and sign this couple-year contract so I can get this little bit of money. ICE is the same. The difference is you get to wear a mask, you get a badge, you can go do horrible human rights violating things on a regular in the name of cleaning up the streets. I don't support how this is evolving and where it's going. I don't support that. What I do support is us protecting and securing ourselves. This is why when you continue to rely on this system, you have things like this that take place. When you don't secure your own street, you let the government come in and secure it, control it, or take it over for you. This is what we end up getting when we do not take care of ourselves.
Right, that's not a popular opinion for some. I see some people didn't like that video. A couple people hopped off. That's fine. But we allowed the sheriffs. It's almost like they created this situation. Just like remember during the Biden administration, right? They had the gates open. Well, there used to not be gates there. Remember before Trump. So let's go back decades, right? You're thinking short term, last term. This has been going on for decades, right? We've seen Abbott busted in people. We've seen DeSantis busted in people, right? So then they create this thing to where problem, reaction, solution. And then we agree to the solution that they created the problem to get to,
Right.
right? So we're not holding them accountable. We're looking at each other and hating each other because of our positions on whether we're for it or against it. That's irrelevant. They're the ones that created the problem. Why are we going and sending and funding these people that train in other countries to come here to terrorize our communities, Americans and or illegals, whatever you want to call them?
That's what I was going to read. Some ICE agents are naturalized U.S. citizens who served in foreign militaries before immigrating to the United States and later entering federal law enforcement. ICE does not track or publish which foreign militaries its personnel previously served in, but based on common immigration and clearance eligibility backgrounds, the foreign services most often seen among neutralized officers include Israel Defense Force, IDF, South Korean Armed Forces, Mexican Armed Forces, Colombian and other Latin American militaries, British Armed Forces, Canadian Armed Forces, Eastern European militaries, Ukraine, Russia, Poland, and Balkans, and Indian Armed Forces. These individuals complete their foreign service before becoming U.S. citizens and later joining ICE. So you have all these different foreign that's been trained in foreign countries under their military,
Right,
as acting as ICE agents now.
right. So it's the beginning of a police state. We're all grounded. We will become another Gaza, monitored and policed by the IDF. They have already sent the IDF here to ICE people. So no more land of the free, because no one is brave enough to question the current government anymore. So good luck, right? So they're using the illegals as an excuse to create this police state, and it's going to be aimed at you.
And they said that would happen.
And they said this would happen. But you can only scream from the mountaintops. People, you can, in other words, you can tell them all day long, but I think they're having to see it for themselves. You can call it blackpilling, you can call it TDS, you can call it whatever CIA created term that people are now labeling us people as that are bringing the truth as to what's coming. It's not no fear porn. These are just facts, things that we have to face. The things that we didn't face during COVID, right, are still sitting
the
there
things we didn't face
or address.
during like Obama's era.
Or
When
Obama,
ICE
yeah.
was doing this, like they said, they weren't doing it out in the public then, right? But these things were going on and we didn't even know about it, right? But they were picking up people. They were doing I posted something earlier that goes into detail how they were treating these people, and it's horrifying. It's horrible. And Tom Holman was in charge of that at that time also, right? So I think it's to bring awareness, maybe bring it all back up so we can see in the open this time exactly what they were doing
Right.
behind the scenes. We didn't even have a clue.
So this is propaganda right here. Illegals committing sexual assault on our children. It doesn't matter if they're illegal. Sexual assault is illegal. Can we agree? So regardless of the person's nationality, this is a situation that's taking place even with Americans committing sexual assault, law enforcement committing sexual assault, judges committing sexual assault, doctors, nurses, teachers. You can, the list goes on, and you could literally make a whole, like just like this right here, and put all their pictures on it and share it, label it MAGA committing. You could do all this and show everyone that has done so within Trump's movement that has created, that has had an essay, right? Trump's spiritual advisor was in prison right now, 6 months, 12-year-old, like on his first term. Like if Trump picks some really, he picks some like, would you pick these people like if you knew they had these things hold over their head or the background they had as your spiritual advisor as the president of the United States of America? Wouldn't you think you would have? So it's almost like he's bringing these people forward on purpose because this is bigger than we can even imagine. And you can't really put it all on everybody all at once because it would just, like they said, 99% of the people would be in the hospital. It wouldn't be to take it all. So recognize this. This is what gets you into a police surveillance state based off of this propaganda here. Not that it's not true or not that these people didn't do this. It's the fact that you're demonizing one group of people in order to bring in the agenda and to add fear to people so that they'll be okay with what your solution is instead of addressing the issue. They're taking care of the symptom and not the actual problem, just like with the medical, right? So pedophilia is a sickness. It's bad in this country, right? And it's not being addressed at the speed or with the attention that I think it requires in order to clean it up. I mean, you're not going to fully clean it up, but you're always going to have somebody making a stupid decision, right? Oh, no, excuse me. Told you they were territorial over here.
Oh my God, I thought that was on a video, but I was trying to figure out what video that could be on.
Man. The sheepdog's supposed to be holding down the watch over here. Here we got. So the situation that we have now is the pivot by Kash Patel and the hypocrisy coming from Kash Patel, because remember Rittenhouse, he was actually raising money to get Rittenhouse out of, lawyers or out of jail, right? And then we come fast forward to today, and he's saying basically it's illegal for anyone to show up to a protest with a firearm. He didn't say that when he was on the podcast, making his podcast tours and shit.
People right now who are outraged that this is a second killing at the hands of Border Patrol.
This is from, let's get the channel right here, scroll down. We're coming from Valhalla VFT on YouTube. This is the channel right here. Valhalla VHT is a veteran. All right, Green Beret. We're going to get a breakdown of.
What is your advice to the people right now who are outraged that this is a second killing at the hands of Border Patrol in 2 weeks?
As Christy said, you cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to break the law and incite violence.
But he brought a gun. Have you ever gone to a protest, Jonathan? I mean, we do have a Second Amendment in this country.
Oh, well, look at that. That's the director of the FBI for the Trump administration telling you, you as an American, you're not legally allowed to have a firearm on you down on the corner of a random street in America. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that was a crime? Crazy to me. I thought we had the Second Amendment. Apparently, the Second Amendment's about to go away under the Trump administration.
Yeah. So everybody's sounding the alarm because that's the direction they're headed. I don't know what's on those Epstein files and what's up on those Wiener laptops and shit, but holy shit. Must be pretty bad.
Yeah, think about it. It's probably all of them that, you know, they need something to prevent that.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and we are going to continue talking about the biggest story in America right now, a follow-up of the last video of sorts, because there's been a lot of new information, camera angles that have come out since this event took place in Minneapolis, and I gotta say, the more information that comes out, the worse and worse and worse it looks for ICE and Border Patrol. Yeah, it's not good, but even crazier than the event is actually the reaction from MAGA and the Second Amendment community. Yes, bizarrely, 2026, it turns out that MAGA is now the anti-Second Amendment party. Yes, they've joined forces with Beto O'Rourke and AOC, and the new ideology, and we're going to look at the clips that's come out from MAGA, is if you carry a loaded weapon anywhere in America, you deserve to be shot in the face for it. Don't know how we got here, but we're here. So that's what we're going to talk about in the video today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel. Let's jump into it. First thing we're going to do, we're going to review some of the new footage and actually really break down the entire thing here before we get into what the official statements from the government, Kash Patel, Kristi Noem, etc., want Americans to know that you no longer have the constitutional right to carry, and you deserve to be killed for it if you do. Yes, this is their words, not mine. So first things first, let's see what Kristi Noem had to say about this event.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene.
Okay, so got it. Yes. Alex Preddy, 37-year-old ICU nurse for the VA with zero criminal record and a license to conceal carry his weapon, rushed police officers with his weapon out, ready to shoot them. And when they tried to disarm him, he violently attacked the officers. Okay, let's roll the footage back. All right, so let's look at the altercation from the very beginning to the end, because according to Kristi Noem, Alex rushed officers with his weapon out, attempting to murder people. Altercation starts with an ICE officer running up and shoving a woman. Yes, here's Alex here as he has his arm around this woman that was just shoved down in the street, obviously, viciously trying to attack these officers. All right, Alex now attempts to step in and protect the second woman who's about to be shoved to the ground in the street. There you go. He tries to help this woman. He's immediately pepper sprayed in the face as he then continues to try to protect these two women. So yes, I'm not sure I'm saying the violent aggressor so far. He is now on the ground in essentially the fetal position, trying to protect his face as he's being pistol whipped by this officer here. Now, this becomes very important. What we've learned since is that he was completely disarmed of his weapon well before anyone ever laced off shots. As we watch this Border Patrol officer here in the gray jacket, I want you to notice something that I've seen. I don't think anybody else has seen yet here in this clip. Let's watch this. Watch as this comes out right here onto the ground. Yeah. You guys see this? That is a SIG pistol magazine. So what that means is they've already identified the weapon because it would be with his holster. They're now yanking his mag, and his weapon, the guy in the gray jacket here, has now pulled his weapon out of his holster, which means Alex never brandished his weapon, never pulled his weapon out of his holster if it's being pulled out by officers. You see here, there's the gun. He's been disarmed of his magazines and his weapon. 7 officers on top of him, which means he poses no threat to anyone at this point. Simply being detained. So absolutely horrific. But what do we know, because we have eyeballs, right? We can all watch it together, is that no, this person was not a violent aggressor out on the street attacking law enforcement officers. He's standing there with his camera out, as the aggressors in this situation are Border Patrol, who run up and shove both of those women to the ground in front of him. And he was guilty of just essentially trying to protect 2 women in the street. Also, we now know, no, he didn't try to go for his weapon. He didn't try to kill law enforcement officers. He was disarmed before he ever touched his weapon. And then he was shot about 15 times after he was already disarmed. So what you would expect from this situation, from MAGA, from the conservative movement, from the Second Amendment community, from the NRA, is what you would expect is you would see a massive backlash against the federal government for infringing on constitutional rights. But no, that's not been the reaction. This has.
What is your advice to the people right now who are outraged that this is a second killing at the hands of Border Patrol in 2 weeks?
As Christy said, you cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to break the law and incite violence.
Oh, well, look at that. That's the director of the
Somebody tell Cashman, can you please tell us what law that is? I mean, for real.
FBI for the Trump administration, telling you, you as an American, you're not legally allowed to have a firearm on you down on the corner of a random street in America. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that was a crime? Crazy to me. I thought we had the Second Amendment. Apparently, the Second Amendment is about to go away under the Trump administration. How fast MAGA decided to throw the Second Amendment and your constitutional rights in the trash to support federal agents being up and doing something stupid, by the way, in the streets of America. What a time to be alive in 2026. I also want you to think about how stupid that argument is. What is a protest? A protest is the actioning of an American's First Amendment constitutional rights. So the idea that if I'm going down to exercise and action my First Amendment rights, but it's illegal for me to exercise my Second Amendment rights while exercising my First Amendment rights, does that really make sense? Is that really where we're going?
Yeah, your Fourth Amendment rights suspended, everything's suspended. And right now, because we allowed no due process, if you greenlighted the federal government to go after the immigrants, guess who the immigrants are? Because you don't know history.
But I wanted to add that
We don't know history.
also, February 7th, 2025, Trump had rolled back all, during an executive order, rolled back all Biden's gun rules, right?
Yeah.
And he gave it back to the states, right? So it's all up to each state. So no matter what the federal is saying, right, which they're going to, right, to see if you even know this probably, but each state has different policies on their like if you can open carry, if you have to have a permit. I went over all that this morning. So they're going to keep saying that, but that's on a federal level, which has nothing to do with your state.
There you go. States' rights.
Ideology-wise, conservatives. And it's a push by the entire administration now. Here's more.
I am sorry that this gentleman is dead, but he did bring a 9mm semi-automatic weapon.
How do they know more about the weapon and what he carried than they do about the person or anything that happened? Isn't that weird? They all know exactly what weapon he had. I thought it was a Sig Sauer. Was that a 9mm? But they all know the exact caliber of the weapon he had, and that he's dead. He was carrying this weapon. It had 2 magazines. They knew exactly, but they don't know shit about anything that the officers did leading up to that point. We don't know any of the names or identities of them, but we know more about the weapon. But this is what has been going even under the Obama administration, right? These are all like the little red flags, the little things that when you do gun control talk, you identify the AR-15, right? He's got a militarized assault rifle. He's got an assault rifle, AR, over and over and over, right? Now we're getting to handguns.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to handguns.
With 2 cartridges to what was supposed to be a peaceful protest. I think that
Well, this is George Soros' right-hand man for 30 years, just so everybody knows. Scott Bessonette. This is Great Scott, the Secretary of the Treasury. But Trump still picked him anyway, because he couldn't find anybody else. He had to get the guy directly tied to George Soros.
are a lot of paid agitators who are ginning things up, and the governor has not done a good job of tamping this down.
Oh, it's the governor tamping it down. No, I think the federal government is the one that was the aggressor that walked up to the woman, pushed her on the ground, sprayed the guy, tackled him, 7 guys jump him, and now he's dead. But it's the governor Waltz. It's governor. Yeah, that's what it is.
I mean, as you know, he was an ICU nurse, worked for the Veterans Administration, and there's no evidence that he brandished the gun whatsoever.
No.
The fact that
But he brought
was
a gun.
disarmed before
He brought
was,
a gun.
Have you ever gone to a
He
protest?
brought a gun. See where we're headed. So when they all start talking about this, that's why he's saying this is where we're headed. Watch MAGA be okay with it. Because they haven't stood for anything yet. We're still trying to wait. We're still waiting because they keep drawing a line. Okay, Mr. President, you cross this line. That's it. Then he crosses the line. Okay, Mr. President, just one more time, I'll forgive you. And then crosses another line. Then it's like, what line are you going to stop drawing that he can't cross? Or anyone with a Trump mask on or playing the part of a politician that you admire. At what point do you say, okay, I don't stand for that? It's got to be something, right? We're still trying to figure out what that is.
I mean, we do have a Second Amendment in this country.
Oh my God, he brought a weapon to a protest. I mean, who else would do that kind of, I don't know. You mean like this? Oh yeah. What was that during COVID that we were all complaining about? Overreach of an authoritarian government. Well, what's this? Trump supporters are staging armed protests.
Yeah, January. See, this is what we're talking about. April 16th, 2020. Trump supporters are staging armed protests to stick it to coronavirus. Where's that same energy? What happened? Oh, you're against medical tyranny, but not police tyranny.
Stick it to coronavirus. Huh, well, would you look
Oh, shit. Yeah, this was all illegal. And if something happens to them and they get shot by an agent, they're the terrorist. That's what the picture is going to be painted. Even though they're not. But that's just dangerous. You see the rhetoric? And it's they paint this picture across both sides. It doesn't matter who you are until you figure it out.
at that? And for me, honestly, I actually support your right to do this because I'm a Second Amendment absolutist, it turns out, which I thought that's what we all were on the right. But I'm learning very quickly that's not the case. Here you go. Let's look at some more. Let's listen to this dork that's in charge of the Border Patrol.
There's no evidence that he was perpetrating violence. And there's no evidence, unless you have it, and we'd love to see it if there is, that he was intending to massacre law enforcement, other than the fact that he was there and he had a gun lawfully.
So he meant to be there beforehand. Again, Dana, he came there beforehand.
How do you know that?
Reason.
How do you know that?
Because he was there.
Earlier
Because he was there.
He was filming and documenting it, which was legal. He was carrying a gun, which in Minneapolis.
I didn't say it wasn't. And I didn't say it wasn't legal.
So then what did he do that was illegal?
Assault federal law enforcement when he does that. That's an active law enforcement
What did
crime
you see
scene
in the video that he
decided to enter into.
Now, since the right seems to be very confused about what the Second Amendment is now all of a sudden, let's see what Charlie Kirk had to say about the Second Amendment.
Second Amendment is not about hunting. I love hunting. The Second Amendment is not even about personal defense. That is important.
Okay.
The Second Amendment is there, God forbid, so that you can defend yourself against a tyrannical government.
Well, shit.
Come on.
So Turning Point knew, Charlie Kirk knew. What changed is what we're trying to figure out. Because something changed, because we're heading into something that we said we weren't going to comply. Come and take it.
Well, imagine that. The Second Amendment is there to, God forbid, protect yourself if you need to against a tyrannical government. You know, the type of government that'll roll up on you as an American citizen when you're simply standing there with a camera, throw you to the ground, disarm you, and then shoot you 15 times while you're no longer a threat. Like, is that what the Second Amendment is for?
And then talk about going fishing.
I'm just asking. Not really sure anymore. And it's such a bizarre one to me because this is such an easy open and shut thing for the right to be outraged by. A massive infringement on Second Amendment rights from a law-abiding citizen. The right.
There is outrage. Don't get me wrong, but you would think it'd be from all of them. But then that's what starts separating the wheat from the chaff. We're starting to pick it apart, find out who's holding this line, this party line that's keeping us divided, so that we never come together and become united. But it's working though.
It should be up in arms with pitchforks right now. And even people like Asmongold who love ICE and the federal government, most of them are even saying the same thing.
It looks like they pulled his shirt up, and then it's this guy right here that has the gun, right? So there's the gun right there. I mean, the guy reaches over him with an empty hand, and then his hand comes back, and he has the gun. you would logically assume that he just picked up the guy's gun, especially whenever usually somebody has a gun that's on their side, right? And that's kind of where he reached.
Now, most people from any side, left, right, center, that are critical thinkers are in agreement on this one. This one is not a difficult one at all. But you still have MAGA influencers saying shit like this.
Not only did he pull the firearm, he clacked off a round. He pulled a gun and tried to shoot federal officers. Yeah, you get shot for that.
Guys, the level of simping for Donald Trump, for another grown man, for other politicians in people like this is mind-blowing. I have never seen a political party abandon its supposed values so fast than in this situation. It's absolutely insane. So here's the deal. And people the right seems so confused by this right now, and I don't know why. So you can actually be supportive of law enforcement, of the military, and still want a standard upheld. We want good police work being done in our communities. And if you are so brain rotted into the tribalism of your own political party that you can't look at a situation like this, left, right, or center, and be like, this was wrong, there needs to be accountability for this, we cannot have this becoming the norm in the streets, then there's not a lot of hope for you. And I would say this.
Because if it becomes the norm in the streets, how many more people is it going to take before you say, okay, enough? Do we need, like, I don't know, 5, 10 more Americans gunned down in the street? 20? 50? 1,000? 1 million? 10 decades from now, 2 million? Like, at what point? Bodies just stacking. But nobody cares. Because they got to be criminals if law enforcement's there fucking with them.
If you just,
got to be criminals, right?
That
have to do is
leader, Greg Bambino, just lost his job.
Greg Bambino got fired.
The leader of ICE, yes.
The leader of ICE got
just
fired.
confirmed it, yes.
So the leader of ICE, while doing the show,
Yeah, because of the shooting. Yeah.
Yeah.
The recent one, yeah. Right. It drew so much attention.
Yeah, that was worldwide. What just took place in Minnesota went all over the country. China, Japan. Everybody's seeing what took place in Minnesota all over the world.
Yeah, he's been reported, has been removed from his commander-at-large role and reassigned to his old position in El Centro, California.
Oh, I know where that's at.
These
I've been there.
reports say he's likely to retire soon after returning to California.
He's from El Centro, huh?
The move comes after the fatal shooting of the 37-year-old Alex Preddy by Border Patrol agents. A DHS spokesperson has denied that he was fired, but did not dispute that he's leaving the Minneapolis operation and returning to his previous post.
Kristi Noem probably be next.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
And then they want Pam Bimbo was it?
Oh yeah, they're all
Pam Bimbo Bondi? Somebody
that's
called
what
her?
that guy was called.
Pam Bimbo Bondi.
Wrong. There needs to be accountability for this. We cannot have this becoming the norm in the streets. Then there's not a lot of hope for you. And I would say this: if you just all you have to do is just juxtapose. If this was 4 years ago, switch it out. Have the Biden administration in charge. If law enforcement, federal agents were, let's say, out, I don't know, enforcing COVID laws and were yanking people out of their cars or killing.
Yeah, think about that. Y'all remember that when they were pulling people out of cars? They were doing different shit. Y'all remember when they slammed that the mother down in the football stands because she didn't have a mask on outside? A mask on outside at her son's football game. She got tackled by the law enforcement, and everybody sat there and watched it. Weren't you outraged? I was. But you got to keep in mind there were some people that weren't outraged by that. They wanted her to comply, and they wore red hats. Isn't a left-right thing. This is something else going on here.
Yes.
Some kind of mentality where they were trying to identify so we could figure it out what it is
and fix it.
People in the streets, law-abiding citizens who are just out and about with a concealed carry permit on them, the right would be furiously outraged. All you would hear on Fox News all day long for the next month.
Because Biden should have been the president, or Kamala Harris, and then we would have got more outrage from the Republicans still.
Oh yeah.
Hey, remember when you guys were saying that Trump is put in there to be able to bring out what's good and bad in all of us?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so that's what's going on.
Yeah, it's like the purifier, and then also the fire, right? Where you're also being purified, and you're also being forged.
Yeah, it's like an ego death.
Yes.
is going to
Yes.
happen for these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
for
I
us,
mean, all of us.
all of
You know,
us.
we all went through, or
Yeah.
have, or still are, or will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm sure it's not over for most of us. You know, there's always
no.
it's always going to be something going on that, you know, we're not newborns.
Right. So that's why it was good to work on yourself, and then if you're
Yeah.
wrong, if you're wrong, just to say it,
Right.
right? I mean, just that's okay. Everyone understands.
It's better to say, "Bro, I was wrong," you know,
Yeah.
and take it, you know,
Yeah, humble
rather
pie.
than be like, "No, no, I know what I
Yeah.
know, and that's all I know," you know.
You
Yeah.
got TDS.
Don't try to defend it to the end because
You just don't like Trump.
it doesn't look good. But if you correct it, that's fine. Everyone understands that. It's okay.
You always trying to black pill somebody. That's like the new like shut up. I don't
Yeah,
want to.
it is.
This is things I don't want to hear. So when you call people black pillars, it's meaning you can't handle the truth.
Or you don't want to look at maybe a different
You want me to? I got rainbow pills. We can do a little fuzzy.
No, that sounds gay.
There's some rainbow pills.
But because Trump's in charge, now the federal government has full immunity to do whatever it wants to our
Whatever it
citizens.
wants. It's the craziest shit I ever witnessed. That's why I keep saying y'all would have not approved of any of this under Obama. Y'all would have not approved of any of this under Clinton. Hillary Clinton, if she would have won. Nope. That's why they put Trump in there. To get you to approve of some shit that you thought, because you thought she got over the hump. She nearly won. She almost got us. We would have been it. But we're still going through the same shit. Agenda 2030 still fucking rocking and rolling. Right? New World Order is being discussed on the world stage. Robots replacing humans. Data centers going up everywhere. Homeless people being put in FEMA camps.
There are real plans for smart
Holy
cities.
shit.
I posted that earlier today. And what cities are it? So those are real plans. So those stuff we still have to deal with a lot of stuff and push back on.
Yeah.
To our citizens. Like, what are you doing, MAGA? What is this? So if you're the type of person, and especially if you're a Republican or calling yourself a conservative, and you are saying, oh, well, don't bring a loaded firearm down to a protest if you don't want to get shot and killed. Nah, dude. No, we're not. We are not playing that game with you. We're not doing those mental gymnastics that now the Second Amendment is the bad guy because law enforcement officers did something fucking stupid. And Republicans, especially, obviously, you're going to get blown out regardless. But if you think now becoming the party that's against the Second Amendment is going to do well with your base
and your midterms,
yeah, good luck. Because
it's already collapsed. So the two-party system's collapsing. People are coming together in the center and having conversations. That's what I'm seeing. But you still have a little few people left over on either side. That's got to always be there.
Right.
But you can still make change when you get a good group of people to come together to start thinking about what's best for humanity and what's best for Americans versus what's best for our party. See what I'm saying? Now we start getting things done.
That's the way it should have always been. That's the way it was supposed to be.
FBI directors out here parroting Beto O'Rourke firearm talking points about how you're not legally allowed to carry a firearm in America. Yeah.
Damn.
You better see something.
If MAGA didn't become Beto,
Just like Beto.
no.
Right? Yes. I even forgot about
So
it.
he would have won the election. He was trying to be governor in Texas.
Yeah, he sure was.
Well, if MAGA becomes Beto, then Beto runs for governor of Texas. He's gonna win,
Oh, please don't say that.
and then MAGA
But
will get what it wants,
anything goes in this. However,
and then the Democrats will be happy because now they don't have to worry about the guns anymore and school shootings and all that. Everybody will be happy. It'd be like one big happy, like total police surveillance state. Give the bad guys the guns, take the good guns from the good guys, and that's it. Be totally fair. Everything totally balanced, right?
Especially out of the National Rifle Association, because if you don't step up and denounce this, you're a fucking joke. But we're going to find out how bad this tribalism is and just see if MAGA has officially made the decision to abandon being the party of constitutionalism. Wild time.
Yeah, it is wild.
2027.
Yeah. And it's only January. Right.
Linda said it's she made a good point. She said the guy's name was Pretty, right? And then the other girl was Renee Good.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Damn, that was pretty
good.
good. That was a pretty good post you just made there.
Yeah.
So he's out, right? So the Bombino backtrack.
Again, the investigation is going to uncover all those facts, things like how many shots were fired, where were the weapons located. All those facts are going to come out in the investigation. I
Okay.
wasn't there wrestling that assaultive subject that was assaulting Border Patrol agents. I wasn't there wrestling him myself, so I'm not going to speculate. I'm going to wait for that investigation to come. No, don't interrupt me. I'm going to wait till that investigation comes out until I make a decision there. During this operation, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
See how he said the same thing as the other Scott Benson, who's in another country, right, or somewhere else. But we see right here he was. I'm going to wait for the investigation to be complete before I start making any comments. Over here, he's reading a script. See the difference in the demeanor? You see it? He's just talking from the dome over here to the right, to the reporter. Over here to the left, he is reading something that was handed to him.
During this operation, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
Okay.
The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted. Again, the investigation is going to uncover all those facts, things like how many shots were fired, where were the weapons.
All right, so that was the difference. I just noticed the difference between the demeanor on the right to the demeanor on the left. Even with Christy Nome, they were both looking down, reading some paper.
Yeah, it's more dramatic when they're reading. It was violent. There were 2 magazines. It's
He walked up right next to a police officer, and he had a 9mm, 2 magazines. Can
that's
you
too
believe that?
sexy. That's too sexy. That's
Can you believe that? 2 magazines.
Joe Biden.
Like, what is this, a gun commercial?
My message to individuals is don't go impede law enforcement operations. That's not legal. You're breaking the law when you do that. It's also breaking the law to concealed carry in Minnesota without an ID on you, and you shouldn't be laying hands. My message to individuals is don't go impede law enforcement operations. That's not legal. You're breaking the law when you do that. It's also breaking the law to concealed carry in Minnesota without an ID.
It's also what is against the law is murder. So once this investigation is complete, we're going to see who really broke the law. Instead of just getting in front of Fox News and telling everybody that's still watching this shit what to think, to paint the narrative without any evidence or an investigation being completed. This is very unprofessional. And this is what keeps the country divided. This shit right here. You could do better, Trump. I don't know what the hell you picked her for, but for some reason there's something else going on there. Right. So then we have the ICE training videos.
I'm just knocking him out. That's all. He'll hold still. We can beat him to death. Ready? William. Whoa! Look out!
I got him.
Oh, shit. Can we all shoot at the same time? Let's shoot all. Let's all shoot at the same time? Let's shoot at the same time. Okay. All right. That's the only thing that sort of makes sense.
Nope.
1.
No, I got Daniel's gun. Mine's out too. Is yours
2.
out?
And then that way we'll never know who did it.
Don't start a count.
Yes,
sorry.
execution. Nice.
1.
Sorry, my bad.
What the fuck? 1, 2. What? I didn't know. Okay. On. What?
I'm out. I'm out.
Am I out? Oh, I wasn't out. Sorry. I thought I was out. I'm just knocking him out. That's all. He'll hold still. We can beat him to death. Ready? Wait.
Yeah, there we go. So that's part of the training video. It's not the full part of the training video, but here's this one's called Shoot the Chicken. See, gun just went off.
Whoa! Look out!
I got him.
Oh, shit. Can we all shoot at the same time?
Right,
Let's shoot all.
they'll just all get
Let's all
it
shoot at the
together.
same time? Let's shoot at the same time. Okay. All right. That's the only thing that sort of makes sense.
Okay, so this is from Reno 911. All right, Scott Bessent again there with his old butt. So here is National Guard have made it to Minnesota. Members have arrived at the site of the federal building. We put this out earlier this morning. So this is from Anthony Cabasso on X. And they've been ordered to distribute donuts and coffee and hot chocolate to anti-ICE protesters. They were given reflective vests so the protesters don't confuse them with the federal agents. As you can see right here, these National Guardsmen do not have masks on.
It's almost Valentine's Day.
Like, just, I'm not trying to be funny, but I am trying to be funny. Like, if I was in the federal government or I was National Guard or head of one of these, and I seen camera crews walk up, I would so have donuts and coffee for you so I could look at the best in front of the cat, at least pretend like I give a shit about you guys, right? At least. So this is really not saying that they don't give a shit, but there's a difference here. Sometimes you got to bring donuts and coffee. There's a different way to handle things as human beings to get. But
Right, don't look like that.
right, you can at
You're
least
combative with them.
right, so
You're an
combative.
enemy.
At least when you're in front of the cameras, don't like have every situation that you're in front of the cameras on like murdering American citizens. Like pass out some donuts and coffee, break the ice. I don't know, no pun intended. Break the ice. But here we got it. But yeah, Sheepdog, we're here to audit your department. Oh, no problem. Would you like a donut or maybe some coffee? Can we help you with any kind of refreshments? Come right on in here. What rights can I respect for you today, at least while I'm on camera? But they can't even do that. But these National Guardsmen did right here. This was
And no mask.
no mask, showing up, National Guard. So you see something's taking place here. I think they have JAG there on the scene.
Yes. I read right. They have Jack.
You have JAG showed up on the scene because of the situation. I mean, this went national. Here's your donuts, here's some coffee.
It's almost Valentine's Day. We get a shot of it, so.
Thank you all.
Cup of coffee, sir? Chris, do you want on the end? At least hot chocolate? Got the ropes.
All right, so you see that they're laughing, they're smiling. It's a different environment here, isn't it? Why are they giggling? I mean, why is it different energy? So this is a solution. This is the way, not saying they pass out coffee and donuts to the protesters or anything like, but there's a different way that you could approach people and talk to people and handle people, and you'll get more out of it than you will handling it with aggression, belligerency, fuck the Constitution, I'm just going to do whatever I want. You think you can just do whatever you want and not be held accountable. The only person that I believe right now that has like qualified immunity would be Trump. Everyone else doesn't have qualified immunity. So I would keep in mind the Nuremberg trials right after that, it took 50, 60, 70 years. They were still arresting people from Nazi Germany for just doing their jobs. So really think about it for a second. Maybe we're doing this so people can wake up and realize where we were headed.
Right.
So that they can change, repent.
Exactly. And they could use this. That could be, it could be staged. It could be a psychological thing. There could be another operation going on somewhere there around there. And that's a distraction for something that's really going on. We don't know all the details, but.
Salute to the National Guard.
Yeah.
And the Dunkin' Donuts. I've been True Train Tribe don't even bring donuts to the morning chats. I'm just playing. It was a joke.
I'm waiting to bring beignets.
Listen, I live in Minnesota.
I voted for Trump. I'm a conservative. And for somebody to say like, oh, hey, stop spreading bullshit. He had a gun. It's our Second Amendment right. We have the right to bear arms. Okay. You have 8 ICE agents attacking you. You're in fear for your life. You're not going to fucking pull a gun. And then you have people defending this ICE again. It's at my front doorstep. It's at every Minnesotan's front doorstep. We're protesting by the tens of thousands. You think tens of thousands, even maybe closer to 100,000 Minnesotans are wrong? It's not about immigration anymore. They're not shooting Mexicans. They're shooting white people, black people. They're shooting everybody. They're using children to bait their parents to come out of the house and arrest them. Wake the fuck up. Martial law is like right on the doorstep. Stop defending these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Right.
You don't want to defend them.
And they, like I was saying, during the Obama era, that's exactly what they were doing. Same thing.
Same thing.
Yes.
So we're now at the point in the Highligan dialect where the FBI, Kash Patel, is telling citizens it's illegal to carry firearms to protest. So let me help you all who seem to forget we the people, not the government, rule these lands. The Second Amendment to the Constitution states, a well-regulated militia being necessary to security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Supreme Court decisions, particularly District of Columbia versus Heller, 2008, and New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin, 2022, have affirmed that this protects an individual's right to possess and carry firearms in public. How long before they come after your guns? And you won't resist at all because you think they're on your side. Like my neighbor, when Biden was president, she said, well, they're not coming after my guns. I'm a Democrat. I'm like, okay, you think they're going to distinguish who's a Democrat or Republican when they walk up to you? Do you have it tattooed on your forehead? I mean, what do you, right?
Multiple magazines to any sort of protest.
All right, so there's the press thing. We'll release that. Of course, you know, the spin here is, you remember Kyle Rittenhouse and how he was made a hero on the right. I am sure there are people on the conservative side who are saying, you mean you can't take a firearm to a protest? Because you're just celebrating the guy for doing it a couple years ago. Alex Pretty's firearm was lawfully being carried. He didn't even point it at the cops.
People, you remember Kyle Rittenhouse and how he was made a hero on the right. I am sure there are people on the conservative side who are saying, wait a minute, you mean you can't take a firearm to a protest because you were just celebrating the guy for doing it a couple of years ago? Alex Pretty's firearm was lawfully being carried. It's lawful to carry a gun in Minnesota. He never brandished it. He didn't point it at the cops. And I think what frustrates people, you remember Kyle Rittenhouse and how he was made a hero on the right.
So we're seeing everything come full circle, right? If you held that position with Kyle, then you have to hold it with the left as well when they do the same thing or same situation occurs. It's not the same because it's different, but like Owen said, they run parallel. So even Fox is finally calling out the administration like they are with Greg Lavino. So you see that's what took place here, right? That's probably why he split, because I guess he went on a media tour. And it's obvious that he's shocked that they aren't eating up the BS that he has to say. So he went back to El Centro.
There's no evidence that he was perpetrating violence. And there's no evidence, unless you have it, and we'd love to see it if there is, that he was intending to massacre law enforcement, other than the fact that he was there and he had a gun lawfully.
He meant to be there beforehand. Again, Dana, he came there beforehand.
How do you know that?
For a reason.
How do you know that?
Because he was there.
But all he was doing was filming and documenting it, which is legal. He was carrying a gun, which in Minneapolis
I didn't say it wasn't. And I didn't say it wasn't legal.
So then what did he do that was illegal?
Assault federal law enforcement when he does that. That's an active law enforcement crime scene.
Where do you see in the video that he was
decided to enter into?
Where do you see in the video that he was assaulting law enforcement? Because from everything we have seen, law enforcement was assaulting him when he was there trying to help another individual.
Dayna, law enforcement doesn't assault anyone. Follow directions of law
Law
enforcement.
enforcement doesn't assault anyone. You hear that coming from law enforcement? So when the law enforcement officer walked up and pushed that lady to the ground, that wasn't assault. Okay.
Follow directions of law enforcement in an active crime scene.
It looked like they were trying to show people how to take an ego death right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I went over why JAG officers would be there, and that may be why the case, because they're there for legal oversight, make sure troops follow the law, ensure no one violates civil rights, advise commanders on what they are legally allowed to do, and prevent the military from accidentally acting as immigration police. So they make sure that things are being done correctly to cover their butts, right?
Dabu
Yep.
7, an update to what's going on with Minneapolis and some of the details surrounding it. You can see here fresh waves of National Guard making their way into the area. These National Guard are called up by Tim Walz, not Trump. Okay? There's a big difference. That's why when we warn you of civil war,
It's
this is
Dabu
what
7.
we mean. They're going to literally be using military factions or police units against one another. Interesting developments out of all this. It seems, as I've told you many times, these events are put out there to sow chaos and division, and they want people jumping on one side or the other and fighting over it. But we can clearly see that, so you need not fall into the trap. Those that do look foolish when they do, and obviously they're lost in the left-right paradigm. They may hear of the left-right paradigm, but they never actually soak it up and understand that it's a huge illusion because they're so bought in to one side or the other. Now, I know things are not good out there with certain aspects all the way around. But in this instance, the fuel being thrown on the fire big time with this new event, this new shooting that took place with the man that was wrestling with a bunch of other agents out there. There's like 4 or 5 of them. Nome is catching a ton of fire for this. And this is what happens when people just regurgitate whatever they hear without actually going and watching something. And see, she seemed to have not even seen any of the video clips when she was making statements. And a big chunk of Trump's base that was left out here, they've just jumped ship because they're sick of it. Even people that stuck through it with the pedo stuff. It's time people take a look in the mirror and like make a stand for what they believe in and quit jumping on bandwagons out here. Okay? Because everyone that went all in on this MAGA stuff, they're finding out the hard way, big time. Like I said, first off, it's with the pedos. Now they want to threaten guns, our rights, and they want to come out, even Kash Patel, and saying that you don't need to be going to a protest with a weapon. Well, people have got a right to go wherever they want, armed, constitutional carry, if you're in the right state, right? This is why I say watch out where you go, because some states and cities are trappy. You can't even constitutional carry there or carry and have a right to defend yourself. As we've seen in the situation here in the most recent shooting, it seems statements were made at the top level by Nome about this event that were not correct. She had made statements of the gun being pointed and other stuff that were just not correct. This has infuriated people on the right, the conservatives behind Trump, that are threatening to be done. So the only thing Trump can do is be done with her. Dump Nome. He's bringing in Tom Homan up here to the scene. And it just goes to show again that so many people out there are so quick to just jump on whatever a shill says out there without even actually looking at footage or doing anything else. And then they get burned on it. But, everyone's got their opinion. As I say here, anyone that wants to come with hate or threats, you're gone. Quick. You can't let this work on you. They want to have civil war. They want to sow division. And it's clear to see. A shout out to all those out there that can clearly see it. And where they're wanting to take this. It's our job to not let it happen. So, crazy turn of events here. With Walz calling in the National Guard. I want you to remember this. If Trump pulls on the Insurrection Act, any ICE agents that go in here, they're going to face off against National Guard now, because that's the setup. Any Marines, as people keep saying, send in the Marines, they're going to be facing off against National Guard. Is that really what people want? You really want civil war like that? Like that? You want the National Guard Marines clashing in the streets? Is that what you want? Because that's what you're calling for. Okay, because the Marines aren't going to touch these protesters at this point. They're going to have to get through the National Guard. So people need to stop and think about these things. The setup right in front of us. It's there. It's a powder keg, and they want it to blow here. So also, I'll say this. Anyone that wants to twist things and try to say that I said things that I didn't, you're gone instantly as well. Just because you're so butthurt, you take it out somewhere else. You can either stand for the truth and the real of the whole thing or just push on, right? Join me for the live shows.
Why are people butthurt? I don't get it.
Burns their whatever they were feeling, right? If they were correct on their stance,
It's like fine.
turns out that they were in, just like we were talking about. You got to be able to say, yeah, I might have been wrong, or I looked at this wrong. I didn't look at all of it. So, you have to be able to pivot but some people can't do that, right? Their ego, like you said, don't want to say that they were wrong. That's normal.
Right. And these are just basic Second Amendment right constitutional amendments that protect us, and yet we're sitting here giving it up to the federal government because our guy's in power, and it's like, dude, that's not your guy. Right? That's a puppet.
Right. Actor.
Right. So on the Epstein thing, Thomas Massey just exposed that Trump is threatening to ruin his supporters' businesses if they fund his campaign. I'm not talking about the IRS audits. It's bigger than that. Here's what happens behind the scenes. First, Trump allies are coercing Massey's consultants into quitting his re-election campaign. Three of my consultants have quit on my campaign, all three for the same reason. They were told, your other 30 clients will fire you if you keep working for Massey. They make it hard to hire people. I really love the consultants I got now because they're the ones who said, screw you, I'm going to work for Massey because I believe in what he's doing and I'm good enough at my job. I'll go find some other clients if you clowns fire me. Second, Trump allies are threatening to ruin Massey's supporters' businesses by abusing state power. I've got 15,000 donors across the United States. My average donation is $80. Is that because I don't want millionaires to give to a super PAC and to help me? No, I'll take all the help I can get. The problem is, if you reach some degree of success when you have $1 million disposable income, you probably can't afford to take off this administration, or they'll come at your businesses. You won't get the permits you need to do the business. So over the MAGA split and on foreign policy, there are people of great means who could put money in my race and put up against the Israel first billionaires. But they're staying on the sidelines because their businesses will get ruined. This is why Marjorie Taylor Greene left Washington. The Trump administration is abusing its power and influence to crush populist, America First voices in the Republican Party.
Let me describe some of the other things they do that you don't see. 3 of my consultants have quit, like on my campaign, and all 3 for the same reason. And I don't blame them. I'm not even mad at them. If I were in their shoes, I'd probably quit too. They were told that your other 3 clients will fire you, or sorry, your other 30 clients will fire you if you keep working for Massey. And so they make it hard to basically to hire the people. Then and for everyone that quit, okay, you go out and you interview 10 people to replace them, and they all tell you the same thing: I can't work for you, or I'll lose all my other clients. So it's like it's a mafia in the consultant world. By the way, I really love the consultants I got now because they're the ones who said, screw you, I'm going to work for Massey because I believe in what he's doing and I'm good enough at my job. I'll go find some other clients if your clowns fire me. Okay. So good for them. The other thing they do is, I told you I may have told you this, maybe I didn't. I've got 15,000 donors across the United States. My average donation is $80. Is that because I don't want millionaires to give to a super PAC and to help me? No, hell no. I'll take all the help I can get. The problem is, if you've reached some degree of success where you have a $1 million disposable income, you probably can't afford to tick off this administration, or they will come at your business. And I'm not talking about IRS audits. Like it's bigger than that. You won't get the permits you need to do the business. your foreign, when you try to do business overseas, that'll get interfered with. So,
and this is if you try to expose pedophilia within our government.
So they intimidate.
Right.
They can't intimidate.
Or pedophilia, people with money that like to sleep with young girls.
Intimidate my $80.
Donate to the president of the United States. Think about that. Pedophiles donate to these presidents' campaigns in order to stay protected and things to be not brought forward, because they don't want to be embarrassed that they went to Epstein Island and did some shit.
Or donors, right? There's too many of them. But there are, and really over the MAGA split and on foreign policy, there are people of great means. I'm talking about extraordinary means,
billionaires,
who could put money in my race and post up against the Israel First billionaires. But they're staying on the sidelines because their business will get ruined. They won't be invited to the parties.
Oh man,
the A-list parties and all that goes away. So that's another.
Yeah, you won't get invited to Mar-a-Lago to drink the finest wine and eat the finest food and paint pictures of Jesus and dress up like dogs and shit, like Great Gatsby with strippers walking around on stage. You won't get invited to those parties.
Part of what happens behind the scenes. There are things that you can't see, and I can see that happening in the presidential race as well. Let me describe.
Right, there we go with that. So that's what's taking place with that.
Do not let the Senate muck this bill up. And if you're a party to that in the Senate, you are part of this cover-up that we are trying to expose. I am sorry if one of your billionaire donors is going to get embarrassed because he went to Rape Island. That is what they have coming. In fact, they need to be on the other side of bars, a lot of them. Some of them will be embarrassed, but some of them need to go to prison, and the survivors know that. So how will we know if this bill has been successful? We will know when there are men, rich men in handcuffs being perp-walked to the jail. And until then, this is still a cover-up.
Yes. So when they get perp-walked.
And in handcuffs being perp-walked, there are men, rich men, and successful. We will know if this, in fact, you are embarrassed. In fact,
Elon.
If this bill has been successful, we will know when there are men, rich men in handcuffs being perp-walked to the jail.
Yeah.
And until then, this is still a cover-up.
It's all bullshit. We want perp walks, right? Justice. Justice. Justice, justice, justice. That's it. That's all we got for tonight, guys. Thank you for, we kind of went over a little bit here, about 40 minutes, but we've been going out for a little bit. And thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, and we have the raffle tickets, $10 each. We still have 2 more days. The drawing is going to be February 28th during the morning chat on the Telegram.
All right. Anything else?
Have a fun night, everybody. Mickey.
Like that.
That was a chicken song. Chickens, lay a little egg for me.
Dear America, I'm writing cause the vibe feels wrong. There's an agency out moving like it's running the lawn. Day knocks on the door at folks' tents in the street. Everybody whispering, is this how lost you meet?
We were promised Constitution, promised limits on the mind.
But the rules keep getting twisted when the badges hit the lights.
So I'm sending you this letter cause the truth's been out of touch.
And the people won't stay silent when enough becomes enough. Hands up, hearts strong, we remember we belong. Rights written in the pages, we've held them all along. We're the voice, we're the witness, we're the ones who stand tall. Dear America, we're rising, we're not letting you fall. Awareness is our armor, truth is our shield. We're the people united, and we're staying in the field.
Let's talk talk about the elephant that's stomping through the hall. How fear becomes a tactic when the system starts to fall. How the force says no entry without a judge's hand, but the knock is getting louder all across this land. How the fifth says stay silent, you don't owe them a word. How the first is keep recording, let your truth be heard. We ain't enemies, America, we're the ones who care, but we can't stay quiet when the people feel scared.
Hands up, heart strong, we remember we belong. Rights written in the pages, we've held them all along. We're the voice, we're the witness, we're the ones who stand tall. Dear America, we're rising, we're not letting you fall. Awareness is our armor, truth is our shield. We're the people united, and we're staying in the field.
This ain't left, this ain't right, this is human and real. It's the tension in the neighborhoods, the fear that we feel. It's the duty of protection, it's the promise of the law. It's the cracks in the system that we can't ignore at all. It's the right to be safe, it's the right to be heard. It's the right to be treated like your life still is worth. So I'm writing you this letter cause the people deserve a country that remembers who was meant to serve.
Fourth Amendment on the doorway, Fifth Amendment in my breath, First Amendment in my camera. 14 says we all deserve respect. Common law says no harm. Human rights say let us live. Dear America, we're asking for the justice you can give, yeah. Hands up, heart strong, we remember we belong. Rights written in the pages, we've held them all along. We're the voice, we're the witness, we're the ones who stand tall. Dear America, we're rising, we're not letting you fall. Awareness is our armor, truth is our shield. We're the people united, and we're staying in the field. Hands up, heart strong, we remember we belong. Rights written in the pages, we've held them all along. We're the voice, we're the witness, we're the ones who stand tall. Dear America, we're rising, we're not letting you fall. Awareness is our armor, truth is our shield. We're the people united, and we're staying in the field.